Oh my God. Look at his balls. They are so big. He must be one of those gamer guys. Like, who understands them anyway?
I say, what? Balls! Who's got the balls? I got the balls. Big, big, big balls. Who's got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. The balls. Who got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. Balls. Who got the balls? I got the balls. The big, big, big balls. Balls. Who's got them balls? I got them balls. Big, big balls. Who's got them balls? I got the balls. Big balls. Balls. Big, big balls.
Well, let me just introduce you to my balls here, okay? The right one's Chuck, and the left one's Norris.
This song is all about my balls. 'Cause they big, the opposite of smalls. I see my balls be bouncing left and right. My balls be owning you tonight.
Who got the balls? I got the balls.
Big balls.
Who got the balls? I
I got the balls.
Big, big,
Big balls. Balls.
Who got them balls? I got them balls.
Big, big, big balls.
Who's got them balls?
I got the balls. Big, big, big balls. Balls. Big motherfucking balls.
Let me just tell you a quick story about my balls, okay? They're big, they're round, and they're big.
Big, big balls. Balls.
My balls need some sucking. My balls need licking. My balls, my balls be swinging. My balls need some sucking. My balls need licking. My balls be swinging, swinging. Balls be swinging. My balls need legend, no imitation. My balls need two-wheel barrels for transportation.
Balls.
My balls be jive. My balls be enormous. My balls waving in the air. My balls, like they just don't care. Elephants be all like, damn, them Geeks balls. My balls, my balls, my balls. My balls be huge. My balls be Angus. My balls, my balls.
Balls.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGG. And as you can see, I'm here with Hollywood Finbar Saunders. What's up, Finbar?
Yo, how we doing?
And we're here with our special guest, former professional wrestler, former DJ, current YouTuber, and Ron Jeremy stunt double, Etep Wokuvian. What's up, Etep?
The people's champ is here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it says. This was gifted to me by one of my channel members, and I can't wear this thing too long because it make Flavor Flav jealous. But yeah, man, he had this made up from a title belt company for me. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty dope. But it's good to be here, man. I gotta take this off. It's gonna hurt my neck. There we go. You hear that thing clanking down there? I could put that on a pit bull.
What is that? 10 pounds of steel or what?
I think it is. It's probably around. It's between like 5 and 10 pounds. It's got some weight to it.
You need those
But,
Tyson
yeah.
neck muscles, man.
I'm telling you, I don't have traps like that no more, man. I don't have traps like that no more. I don't have to worry about getting dropped in my head much anymore.
You need to get like a WWE 2K23 tournament going for that. Put that on the line.
That I'll show off. I got another belt back there that actually came from I borrowed it and it just got lost when I moved, and it was going to be my world title when I got a title run with the singles heavyweight championship, but that never came to fruition. I was going to have it customized. But anyway, yeah, it's good to be here, man. It's always fun to talk wrestling.
Yeah, we are going to be talking wrestling. We're going to be talking some WWE, some AEW, and Etep is going to tell some road stories from back in the day. Before we even started, I had to cut him off backstage. I was like, Etep, you're talking too much. You need to slow down. Slow your roll just a little bit. he was telling us about being in a biker bar with Seth Rollins. What's that about?
Back in about 07, 08, we were up in Kalkaska, Michigan after Chainsaw Promotion. So this is right before I got in. And I was up there, my tag guy go on to be my tag partner. Him and the other promoter, we ran an NWA affiliate promotion starting shortly after this. They were working their last match with this Chainsaw. And Jimmy Jacobs, who writes, I still think he writes for WWE Creative, and Tyler Black, and we all know him as Seth Rollins now. We're working there. Zach Gowen was on the card that night. I'm trying
the one-legged man.
The wrong one-legged man.
And he didn't. This is not the guy that killed Harrison Ford's family either. That was the one-armed man, not the one-legged man. But I did get to see Brock Lesnar massacre him in Grand Rapids in that SmackDown tape. But that was another story altogether. So, no, we're just sitting there and we're all drinking. And I just realized that, number one, I was literally the exact same size as him. And he's not much bigger now than he was then, which is evident by that fan whooping his ass. And because he's pretty much a bitch. And number two, he's a dick. Jimmy Jacobs, I really kind of listened to him talk. And the second time I went out, Seth wasn't there, but Jimmy was, and the Sandman was there, who's a fucking absolute douchebag. We're just gonna
bury every wrestler out there.
I'm not fucking trying to, dude. I'll get on Sabu later on, but
Who's we?
I don't give a shit.
Etep's burying them. We're doing.
I'll throw the fuck.
We're doing nothing.
This just turned into a shoot real quick. Etep's just rolling it out.
But no, I mean, it was just Zach was cool. And we booked Zach at a couple shows. And it's funny, you always know the Grand Rapids crew because they come in with fanny packs on, and they all go jingle jingle because all their pills are in them. I'm not joking. It's like the Grand Rapids crew, man. Everybody comes in with fanny packs on. It's like a goddamn walking pharmacy, but not anymore now because they're all soy boys. Like most of these cats are soy boys, so they don't do any of that shit. They go catch Pokemons. They're not chasing ring rats and shit. They're out chasing Pokemon Go's and trying to catch fucking Bulbasaur and shit. So. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Last time I went to an indie show, I'm like, these kids don't even look like workers. They look like cosplayers out here pretending to wrestle. Like the older I get, the more I agree with Jim Cornette, who blocked me on Twitter.
Ooh. I was saying earlier in the week that I agree a lot with Jim Cornette.
I do. On his
I think I do
absolutely.
now, yeah. I do now after watching AEW.
Yeah, I tried watching AEW a few months ago. Didn't work out. Didn't work out. Didn't like it. No storytelling in the ring. I was lost because it's hard to dive into like in the middle, and the announcers were shit. They didn't like help you at all. Like they're like, oh, if you don't fucking know, you're lost. Yeah, you're just gonna keep going and fucking plow ahead.
Well, the problem is you get Taz out there, and Taz got, hey, look at my kid Hook. Look at his haircut, Michael Cole. Hey, oh, I forgot Michael Cole's not here. Like what did you just say, you little runt? Like what? Like I love Taz.
Is that an actual line? Is that an actual line he said? Where's Michael Cole?
I know, but it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. But I always rib Taz when we're watching AEW and he's out there because like I'm like, this guy, he's a clown. Like I love him to death, like I do, but he's a clown. Like I can't take him seriously, especially after Bubba Ray. Or like this guy, like he's a bitch. Like they just buried him. They're like he just believed his own gimmick and he got mad, made his own title. I mean, and now Hook's carrying around the FT. What is with that little flock of seagulls? When we rip into AEW, I'm gonna bury half their roster. And I say this, and I got a damn little AEW ring right here and everything. Like me and my kid don't have any AEW wrestlers in it. We use Kevin Nash and like Saturn and all them guys, but
Well, I'm gonna have to come to you, Etep, to fill in the gaps because there are serious gaps in my knowledge, and I can't turn to Tony because I know he's as lapsed as I am.
I got you.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, if you're coming over from Etep's or watching this on the replay, me and Finbar, we basically stopped watching wrestling for the longest time.
We don't know shit.
Yeah, I'm like 13 years out of it. pretty much. Finbar, what you said?
I think I'm around about 19. I mean, I have watched some. Obviously, I know what's going on in WWE. But the last time I watched it seriously, I think was WrestleMania 19. I did watch WrestleMania 20, but from 20 onwards, I didn't watch it really. I did keep up to date on who was doing what. But AEW is completely foreign to me.
Yeah, well, I tried to jump over to TNA Impact Wrestling for a time. That was going good, and then 10-10-10 happened, and I was like, "That's it. I'm done with Impact." This whole Hulk Hogan running the show, this bullshit.
Yeah, I knew about all that happening, so that's when that happened. That was in 2010, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember stuff like that happening. I remember keeping tabs on what was happening over on Impact as well, TNA at the time, but they're really the only two. In New Japan, I dived into a little bit as well during the Wrestle Kingdom. God, is it 13 when we Omega Kada?
Yeah.
Was that what that was on? Yeah, I watched a bit of that as well. I like New Japan, but aside from that, I haven't been in the loop at all.
Yeah, like I said, I'm also out of the loop. I was playing, WWE. What was it, 2K22 last year, and I'm like, man, I don't recognize like 90% of this roster. I need to start watching wrestling so I know.
That's how I learned who people were.
Yeah. But you don't know their gimmick, right? I'm like playing the game. I'm like, who should I pick? I'm like, wow, they all look the same. Like I have no idea what any of their gimmicks are. It's a guy in trunks. It's a guy in tights. This guy would fucking. But I've been watching it for the last 2 weeks. WWE. Not impressed. Not impressed at all.
I try not to watch WWE at all. I watched WrestleMania, and I was listening to Corny and Brian Last, aka other Yokozuna, talk about Backlash and Bianca Belair, who if I want to see a ratchet girl swing a braid around, I'll go to the club. I mean, I'm just like, what on God's... And I don't want to take anything away from her as far as like a physique goes or anything, because she's got a great build to her. She's got a good look. She's a good worker. That stupid hair just completely throws me off.
Man. It's her gimmick.
It's fucking shite. I can't do it. It's shite. I'm like, what is this? I was like, I smell shite.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things that threw me off about this modern wrestling, right? I go in there and I'm like, why are there so many women's matches? I'm like, half the card is fucking women's matches. They got promos. I don't see any mud wrestling, no lingerie. What the hell's going on with my wrestling?
There's a severe lack of sandwich making, which throws me off too.
Yeah. That's what I said the other night. I was on Aaron World Order stream, and I said, if I want to see two women wrestle, I'll throw a loaf of bread and some lunch meat between them and see who fights to make me a sandwich first.
Yep.
His chat didn't appreciate it. They called me sexist and booed me off the stage.
I would have said, yeah, and?
Well, that's what I said.
Exactly. I say this, my wife's upstairs just going, I don't give a fuck what you say. I know the truth. I've been married for almost 14 years, so.
I've been divorced for almost 6, so.
Mazel tov.
Hell yeah.
No, I WWE really, like, I watched WrestleMania, and I tried to watch that 30th anniversary of Raw that started out with a 45-minute promo, and I'm just like, oh my God. And it went nowhere. It was the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, and I'm just like, I couldn't care less. I'd rather stick my letter opener in my eye right now than watch this. And if I had to hear Paul Heyman say, oh, my tribal chief, one more time, I was going to lose my shit.
Justy View says he wants a link to your channel. I'll drop a link. Etep does not have a wrench. He can't do it himself.
No, I can't. What up, Hicks Villain? I see Hicks Villain. That's one of my people.
While I'm getting that, Finbar, why don't you tell us about AEW?
Why don't you just give Etep a wrench?
Well, he has to say something. I still have to go through YouTube. Jesus Christ.
He's put something in the chat. Right, I'll go quickly into what I thought of AEW. I've got, like I said to Tony and Etep, I've got notes here. I won't go beat for beat in all the matches because we'll be here all night because it's like a 2-hour show. And also, I'd like to say as well, by watching this, and this was suggested that I watched this by who was it? One of the channel members, GM De Los Santos, I think, asked
Yeah,
us
I think so.
to watch this, and so it's his fault. So don't blame me. Like we were saying before, the announce team was a guy called Excalibur, who is a white luchador,
Yep.
and I've never heard of him. And then you had Taz and Tony Schiavone. Taz is like, okay, yeah, Taz is what he is. He's got limitations, but he was a good color commentator back in the day. But Tony Schiavone is the voice of 90s WCW. So why the fuck he's not doing play-by-play? Because it looks like Excalibur is the lead play-by-play on the show. And I'll admit, hands up, I'm not the best talker in the world, but I'm not trying to call a fucking wrestling show. So I don't know why he's lead play-by-play. I heard, now Etep will have to fill me in on this one, that Jim Ross was on this show. What's happened to him? Is he gone now, or?
I don't know where JR. I'm trying to think.
Did he
'Cause
wheel
I
him out
missed-
for pay-per-views or something like that?
Yeah, he usually does. He does some big shows. I don't know where the hell he's been.
But he is still with the company, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's still with AEW.
See, I would
haven't
have
heard of
him.
leaving it.
If he could do it, I would have him all the time, or I would find somebody else to do lead play-by-play. Because this guy Excalibur, I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling it. It doesn't look like the guy can see through that mask for a start.
No, and that's the thing is like Taz is already sitting on phone books to see over the desk to the monitor. So Excalibur wearing a mask
and also they're not ringside. They're up on stage like they used to be in, like they did with Raw at one point.
Yep.
And I think they did it in WCW and back in the day as well.
Yeah, back on Nitro, they were set up at the back of the, like after the audience, they'd have like the rig set up there, which used to be great with the NWO takeovers. They come out and start slapping. You know, you're talking about bringing in another commentator. They should bring in Mike Tenay. They should. Is he
an Impact? Is this an Impact?
I haven't watched Impact in I don't know, 10 years. And I got 3 of my boys work over at Impact now. I kind of feel bad. They're actually coming in to work a show right local to me. I'm going to get to see them in a couple months. But no, last I knew he was with Impact. But
who's the guy that died? There was one of them that died.
Oh, Don West.
Right, Don West. I was going to say you can't bring the dead guy in.
Yeah.
No.
JR got moved to Rampage.
Yeah. Hicksville says JR moved to Rampage, but still think it's Wednesday night.
Isn't Rampage like Sunday Night Heat?
No, I think it's like their SmackDown.
Well, yeah, it's their SmackDown, and then they're starting that Saturday night show, which will probably be like it'll kind of be like WCW Saturday night, basically. It was going to be Collision or something like that, I think they're going to call it.
Something like that.
Right.
That's funny, though, because Saturday night for WCW started off as their marquee show before Monday Nitro.
Yeah, it was TBS, man.
Yeah, that's why we start all our shows on the 5s here on this. We used to start every Saturday night. We used to start 7:05.
Nice.
So
in honor.
You had you've also got what's his name, Justin Roberts. Is it Justin Roberts is doing ring announcing?
Yep.
Is that his name? This guy, yes. I never liked this guy. I think he's a tryhard. There was tons of other ring announcers they could have got. I think they should get that guy. There was a guy recently with WWE called. He's gone now. His name's Greg Hamilton, I think.
I don't know.
He was good. I liked him. I think they should get him instead.
I ring announced for a couple of years. And I kind of like Justin Roberts. He's not my favorite. One of my favorite ring announcer is hands down David Penzer from WCW. Him, and then you got Howard Finkel,
Finkel's always going to be. He's always going to be my favorite. But
a dark horse, undervalued guy is Bob. What's his name from ECW? Bob Ortiz back in the 90s. He used to make that arena pop when he would announce guys. I love Bob Ortiz.
I can't remember him, but Finkel will always be my favorite.
ECW.
I think somebody should just come in and totally rip off Finkel's gimmick and do him. Because he was good. That's what we remember when we were growing up.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody can do no like he can. Everybody else is just.
What's up, Beefy? The current subject is complaining about AEW.
Right, I'll go on to the wrestling since that's what we're here for. So
No,
the
no,
other
but
night,
but before you go into wrestling, I mean, it is the
Go
little
on.
things that make the show what it is, right? The ring announcer, the commentary, the people at the booth, even the referees. If they're competent, know how to do their job, it helps the story of the fucking matches.
Well,
And I
the
think
the
all the little
referees,
pieces are missing, and
yeah,
that's
the referees, I will give it this, right? The referees actually are quite good, I think, in AEW. They add stuff to the match, whereas they don't really in WWE.
well,
But
WWE it pisses me off. We'll get to that, but I was watching these male matches with female referees, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? How am I supposed to believe that this female referee is supposed to control these two fucking giant dudes? Like, yeah, they're gonna listen to her, other than because it's real. You know,
it's the,
they'll get fined.
Well, look at how stupid the psychology is behind intergender wrestling. All right. You got a 120-pound woman doing a Canadian destroyer on a dude that's 250 pounds. She pins him. Now, everybody that he's beaten by a lot, she should be able to beat. What does that do to his credibility? Those matches are stupid because they only benefit one person and one person only ever. I got offered a program like that, and I basically took my ball and I went home. I grabbed my bag and I said, I'm leaving. If this is what you got, if this is how you're going to book me, I'll see you later. And I walked the fuck out, and I didn't come back for 7 months. I did a stone cold, basically.
We briefly mentioned.
I was like, nope.
We briefly mentioned last week about when Impact had a woman as a world champion, and everybody I don't know what was her name.
Tessa Blanchard. She went over on Sami Callihan after they had Brian Cage job to her.
Yeah.
Right, so everybody who jobbed to her, their credibility's ruined as well wherever they go.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying she's a small girl. She looked like she was a bit of a unit, but she wasn't like, she wasn't giant. You know, she was just a normal sized girl.
She wasn't no Nicole Bass.
She's 5'4", nice reference. That's a deep cut. She's about 5'4", about 125 pounds. And some Mark paid her to record herself taking a shit, and she sold it to him. That's legit.
Is that video going around, or?
It was only audio. It was an audio recording.
Jesus.
Yeah. This was about, I think, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, right after, because she got fired for being a racist or something, making some racist comments.
Yeah, I heard about
like
this.
That.
Yeah. She ran away with a belt.
She did what I did when I quit. She took the belts with her.
But back on AEW,
right?
You were saying you hated Orange Cassidy or something.
You had it right, yeah. So the first match had him in it. So the first match was an 8-man tag, and it was freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, a guy who admittedly I'd never heard of until this match. Another guy called Bandido, who I'd never heard of. I'm assuming he's come from Mexico. And then you had Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, who are two guys that were in NXT who are recognised from there, and they're both using the same names. And they were going up against a group of jobbers who were like a Jericho crew. Jericho Appreciation Society, I think.
Yep.
Is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah. One of them I recognised as Jack Swagger. So that he's now going under the name Jake Hager. I take it that's his real name.
Yeah.
He's the only one you could pick out. Like the rest of them all look generic jobbers, but Jake Hager, because he's so big, he stood out. But my main problem with this, right, and it was, aside from all the flippy shit and the constant tope suicidas that you saw going on, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets halfway through this match. And this guy at the beginning of the match was introduced as, I want to say, the AEW International Champion, which I thought was the mid-card championship. And this guy's going about with his hands in his pockets. And I have now looked up this guy and seen a bit more of him. And I'm even more angry now that I've looked at it. So he's got his hands in his pockets and he's flipping around the ring. And then he proceeds to, at one point, one of the jobbers is in the ring with him, and he proceeds to unleash these slaps on the guy's chest. And it's like he's brushing the guy off. And the crowd are the worst part of it, because they're going, oh, every time he touches the guy. And I'm thinking, this is where the cornet in me will come out, right? I'm thinking, if you're doing this, if we're all, I appreciate everybody in the world now knows this is a work, right? We're not all dumb, apart from kids. But if you're doing this now, then everything that happens from here on out, we know is a work, and we know is a joke, and we can't take it serious. And this guy coming into the thing and I don't know how long he's held this title for, This
Oh,
guy's
he's
your
had it
mid
for a
card
while.
champion, right? So this guy is your mid card champion, or what I thought was your mid card champion. And this is the sort of level where we're at here, where AEW is one of these promotions that don't take it seriously enough, or I don't think they do anyway. But anyway, the Jericho, when he came out, he went on to commentary, and I thought Jericho on commentary was quite good. I would keep him there, and I would get rid of maybe Taz. But he came out wearing a t-shirt, and there was some chick on his t-shirt with a black eye, and I'm assuming that's Adam Cole's girl.
Yeah, Britt Baker.
Because she's a wrestler, right? Because I found out later on she was one of the 3 that ran out into the ring to save the fat girl that was getting beaten down by Paige and the other 2.
Oh, Willow, that heifer. Yeah, I tear into her every.
Well,
time
that
she's
match
on
was
TV.
bad anyways, but I'll get to that. At the end of the Cole pins one of the jobbers, and then he runs up and he beats up on Jericho, and then he gets dragged off by security. I wasn't loving it. It was alright, but I wasn't loving it. It was too much flippy stuff, and I think Orange Cassidy ruined it for me. I don't know if I would. What I'd give that 2 stars, 3 stars, maybe out of 10.
That's where you channel your inner Jim Cornette, and you're like, and then fucking Pockets is flipping all over the ring with doing kip ups and shit with his hands in his pockets. There's 7 guys waiting outside the ring for him just to flip his little 125-pound ass over the top rope. Like I didn't know he was coming, Brian. Last shit.
That's all I could use.
I was fucking complaining about that the other night. Oh my god, I was yelling at Aaron and DL. We're on the stream, and they're going, well, it's not a big deal. I go, dude, when they just stand outside the ring and they're just waiting, I'm like, that's the worst. It's like, just don't do the move. Just don't fucking do the move, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing with these. And I work with guys that like to do high spots. I had a guy like that in my stable, and I was like, you're gonna kill yourself. I was like, you're 24 years old. I'm like, stop. I was like, I know Jeff Hardy and all these guys that do these retarded shit is cool, but I'm like, you're gonna ruin your career. You're gonna shorten your career and your life at the back end doing that shit. I'm like, I was like, you're with us now. You're over. So all you have to do is do just a little bit more than the crowd expects and nothing else. And let the gimmick do the talking for you, because our gimmick was solid and we were the most over in our company. And I'm like, we picked this kid up because we wanted to build him up to a world champion. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, I see kids like that and it kills me because they see these idiots on TV doing, and like you're talking about, there'd be 5-6 guys outside the ring waiting for the dude to start here, run across the ring. I'll do a John Madden. I got a ring right here. Basically, Pat, what he did was there was 5-6 guys right here, right outside the ring right here. And then he went right here to boom, and then a boom right here, and then bam, Brett Favre over the ropes. And then they caught him, but they were all waiting, Pat, back to you. Tough acting, tough acting. But no, it hurts with the suspension of disbelief, you know, because we want the audience to buy what we're selling, you know, that we're actually, you know, like hitting each other. And it's like, that shit is just so like, I don't want to see choreographed gymnastics. I don't.
I think when you're watching it on TV, Etep, I think it's a lot easier to suspend disbelief because of the camera cuts. If you're watching it live, you are literally sitting there watching them all setting up to wait for this guy to jump off, if it's a cage match or whatever, to jump off of a cage, and you can see them all lining up, getting ready for it.
Yeah, but
TV,
even when you're watching on TV, you can still see them because they clearly are just standing there.
But
they got to get that angle, so they show all like. It's a lesser degree, but you still know it takes me out of it. I'm tired of all these spots. Stop doing all these fucking spots. You don't need to have 17 spots in every fucking match.
Exactly. You can do basic wrestling stuff if your guys know how to tell a story. And Beefy Bites, you know, and I'm not just picking on AEW. I'd critique WWE more if I even cared about their product. I don't care about nothing Rhodes' son, Thody Rhodes, bad daddy, with his neck tattoo and his wife who don't know how to thud a mouth. They're terrible. They're just terrible. And I wish Brock Lesnar actually had like seriously beat the bejesus out of him on Raw, because I saw some clips on Twitter of that, and I'm like, I just wish Brock would have just shot on him. Just destroyed him. It would have been hilarious. It would have been like Saturn and Mike Bell exacerbated times 10. But no, WWE's booking is not good either.
You wanted to see a mass transit event. That's what you wanted.
I did.
I
As
don't know
somebody
why
who used to
Brock
like
doesn't
New
just shit on
Jack.
everybody.
That's the thing. Is like when they put Seth Rollins over on Brock, I laughed. I'm like, please. Like, oh no. That's like me beating Brock Lesnar. Like, no. Like, it's not happening, Seth.
Skaggy wants to know why are you here, Etep?
You miss me, boo. That's why. What's up, man?
Because we need a subject matter expert. At least one of us has to be.
I wouldn't call myself an expert. I'm a bullshit artist. No. I wrestling is one thing that
we're sitting under your learning tree.
I have a lot. I do have a lot of unfortunate knowledge about this business. Damn it. But no, AEW, like you were talking, like we talked a little bit about the flippy shit, stuff like that. They've got guys that are talented, but when you put Orange Cassidy in there with he's Big Cass, Big Bill now is his name in AEW. Like, okay, so Cassidy works a match with Bandito. It's competitive. Cassidy is giving Bandito's like Cassidy's taking heat during the match. Like he took a considerable amount of it, right? It was a really good back and forth match. When Cassidy worked Big Bill, he worked half the match with his hands in his pockets and destroyed him. Like, this is my thing. Like, if Bill wanted to beat the holy hell out of Orange Cassidy, he would destroy him like that. And you're expecting me to believe he's going to beat him with his hands in his pockets, but then he's going to wrestle a dude his size and it's competitive. Like, do you see the problem with the booking here? Like, it goes back to Tony Khan. And as somebody who's a promoter, you cannot be a goddamn promoter and be friends with the boys. It's not going to work. You're going to end up with situations like with Matt and Nikki there, the Young Bucks. I got to slap my thigh on every super kick spot, bitches. And Kenny Omega, and I respect Omega's work, but the backstage politic and shit is ruining the shit. It's ruining the shit.
Yeah, the inmates are running the asylum.
Yes, and that's what caused CM Punk to leave, and I think he's still on payroll. So yeah, it's Khan needs. You've got ex workers that are working backstage as agents. You need a booking committee, especially now having another hour. I don't know if they're going to do an hour or 2 hours on Saturday.
I think it's supposed to be 2. It's supposed to be 2 hours, I think.
So now you got 5 hours of TV, not counting Ring of Honor, because I don't. Eddie Kingston's in Ring of Honor. I can smell Newports and just shame through the television every time that hunk of shit walks out. That guy's a disgrace to the business. His action figure is worse. Yeah, his goddamn action figure is uglier than Nyla Rose's in person, who I worked about 24 shows with. Brandon, as his name is. That's fucking Brandon. Nyla. Well, nope.
Hicks Villain says
buying it.
Tony Khan is the anti-Vince. Vince likes them big and beefy. Tony Khan likes them small and flippy.
Yeah, because Tony Khan likes cocaine, and that goes with small and flippy.
Yeah, what do they call it? Tony Khan is Herb Abrams on crack. On crack is Herb Abrams already. So we got problems.
No, I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan either. I saw some. No, he's not. I'm not. I think he's past his prime. I think he'd be better in like a, hey, let's help put the young talent over, because they're going to tailor that Saturday night show around him.
Well, he wants to come back, right? And they're politicking to stop him coming back to Dynamite, yeah? So they want to split. They want to split the roster in 2 so he can be on his own without the interference. Because those other guys, have they got actual sway or what? The EVPs? Or is this just a ceremonial title for them?
No, they
have sway.
Executive. Yeah, they got pulled, but they got the stroke, as my man Jeff Jarrett said, they got stroke.
Yeah, there should be no, especially when you've got them competing on the roster for titles. There should be none of that.
That's what killed WCW, man.
Yeah.
Was that backstage shit with Nash running the book, and yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things that killed WCW.
Oh, you can't just narrow it down to one thing, but I mean, that didn't help. It didn't help.
Well, them getting rid of Bischoff, bringing Bischoff back, putting fucking Russo in charge, getting rid of Russo, bringing them back together.
Russo's I've been since the Crockett era. I've been a Southern wrestling fan. You know, I watched WWF as a kid, but I was always drawn to I love the look of the dark arenas where there's 3 feet in between the ring and the guardrail, and the crowds were packed in there. Oh my God, I love that shit, man. That Memphis stuff, Mid-South, Smoky Mountain, and like I said, Crockett, the NWA, and then they became WCW. The Road Warriors were like my first favorite tag team, man. When I saw them, I was like, they were just bad. It reminded like Mad Max kind of shit.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah. Yep. They're still
there was a guy that reminded me of them later on. I'll come to that when I
All right. Well, James Del Santos, real quick, he says, "Do we see CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite?" I don't think it's gonna happen.
They're not going to work together. They should, because they could put a good match on. I'm not the big like FTR. I respect their work a lot. I do. I don't really personally care for them just because of their politics and their bullshit. But no, they're solid. They're 2 of the best pure wrestlers, which didn't. Why they're working singles matches and they're jobbing them out is beyond me. But Dax moves like an old man now after that injury because he broke. I think it was his tailbone or something he broke. And that was it the dog collar match? Was with the Briscoes before Mark died. Then they worked a dog collar match with them or some shit. Yeah,
these are the revival from WWE, right? Is that right? The tag team you're talking about.
FTR?
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew they were in the Fed, but I didn't know. It might be. I don't know who they were in WWE because I very rarely watched in the last probably 7, 8, 9 years. I watched a few pay-per-views here and there with some friends and stuff, but I can't watch the weekly product. I can't do it. I tried, and I'm like, I just can't. The Hicksville said, it was the revival.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're also
I know you mean.
The Super Frogs, so that's why I love them.
They're the Super Frogs.
Yeah,
I'm glad they dropped that gimmick. So I'll move on. I'll keep going because we're only one match. We're only one match in.
One match in, and we already hate the show.
So I'm not finished with the first match. So during the first match, I counted 4 times they advertised the main event of this show. There was a graphic in the corner. And on 4 different occasions, they advertised this match. It was a match between Jungle Jack Perry and Darby Allin, and they were going to tag team against MJF and Sammy Guevara. I think I've got those names right.
Yeah.
And the idea was that if the team of the lead singer of Europe and Eminem with half the face covered in makeup beats the other
Darby
two. They're inserted into the main event of the next pay-per-view to make it a fatal 4-way for the world title.
Yep.
These 2 guys here, I don't know whether it's just an AEW thing, but they seem to skew quite small in this company where these 2 are not believable main eventers to me. But I don't know. I haven't seen them wrestle, so.
Okay. All right. Jack Perry, I don't like the Jungle Boy gimmick, and I heard a bunch of shit from him about him being a dick to fans at a con, and he's a baby face, right? So he's being a dick in public as a baby face. That's not a good look anyway.
It's breaking kayfabe.
Exactly. This is Luke Perry's kid, mind you.
And
then Darby,
the 90210 guy that died,
yeah,
right?
Yep, 90210. Okay, yes.
Okay.
This is his son. And Darby Allin, Draven loves Darby Allin. I always call him, he's Chester Bennington, little Linkin Park, crawling in my skin. That's the Darby Allin shit. I'm not a fan of his. I don't like his style.
R.I.P. Chester.
He's a Chester Podesta. He's a munchkin. He's a little munchkin, and so is Jungle Boy. He reminds me of Matt Riddle.
they don't look convincing. I've got more muscle on me than Darby Allin has.
Darby, yeah, he doesn't even look like a worker. Then you see, okay, Sammy Guevara. I wish he'd keep his tongue in his mouth. He looks stupid as hell. But he does.
In the ring,
looks
he's
stupid.
quite good. But in the ring, I thought he was quite good.
And that's I will get to. The dude he's a good worker and he's a good heel. MJF, this cat is everything that is good about the wrestling business today. He maintains kayfabe all the time in public at conventions. He told a little girl to piss off. She was like 10 years old. I mean, this dude is amazing. His promos are fire. He's got great gear. He's in the Von Erich movie. He's playing one of the Von Erichs. He's
playing Lance, isn't he?
Yeah. I think
the fake Von Erich.
Was Lance a dick, was he? Was he a dick?
No. I can't remember. But the Von Erichs, I didn't catch, like I just remember Kerry when he came into the Fed as the Texas Tornado.
Yeah,
I didn't watch much World Class Championship. Yeah, I liked him as that. But the damn MJF is money. Like, and they had it set up. So this is like a 4 pillars of AEW match because these guys are all AEW originals. And it was supposed to be Sammy and MJF. They're buddies.
And
they're like bros.
Yeah, and the idea was that Sammy was gonna just lie down for him and take a pin. So that's a problem I had with this as well, because that telegraphed the finish, because you already knew that wasn't going to happen on a pay-per-view. You can't have another fucking Hogan finger poke of doom.
Oh, that wasn't I love the finger poke. Everyone always gives that shit.
But there was
had a huge pop. That was a huge.
But there's no way they were going to repeat that here. So you knew this was going to be This was going to be a 4-way.
Yep, and that's what we were all talking about. As soon as they started doing that on the air, we're like, and those two cut some great promos, Guevara and MJF. They did some some Skype calls and shit. It was funny. They got each other like presents and shit. It was like two heels. It was perfect, right? So they work into this 4 pillars thing now. And a couple weeks ago on Dynamite, they did like a big promo. But I see Jack Perry is a jerk to the fans. JM. Yeah. Yes, they said that he was sitting there on his phone and the guy was asking him questions, who'd paid for like a VIP experience, and he's just on his phone like, yeah, how do you get in the wrestling business? I wouldn't get into this business if I was you. Just
see,
like, what?
At least he got there though. When I waited in line for fucking Goldberg, that motherfucker left.
You never let this Goldberg thing go, will you?
I won't let it go. I was like 10 feet away. All he had to do was sign like 6 or 7, just like 20 or 30 little things, sign them real quick and leave them for people. But no, you'll be fucking standing on Goldberg's grave going, sign it. I will, maybe pissing on his grave.
Hey,
sign your own name on his fucking.
Hey, he wouldn't sign it. He wouldn't sign it because he was Jewish. He was like, no, I'm short and I'm Jewish. I can say that I am one. It's fine, folks. L'chaim.
I'm telling you, I told these guys a story. It was like we were in the line for like hours waiting. We got all the way up to the front. There was like 30 people in front of us. It was at 12 o'clock was when it ended, right? The little thing, the little event. Mm-hmm. At 12 o'clock on the dot, he gets up and just leaves. He didn't like sign a bunch. He didn't say, oh shit, it's like 10 minutes. Let me sign a whole bunch of these little fucking 5x10s or whatever, and hand them out afterward. No, he just fucking left.
Was this Fed Goldberg or was
this was WCW Goldberg?
WCW Goldberg.
This was height of Goldberg's popularity.
So he's already a dick then. Yeah. That's when Chris Jericho would Jericho punk him in WCW, or was it backstage at a Fed show?
I think it was at a Fed show.
I think it was the Fed, yeah, because it was after Goldberg came over.
But you were saying, Finbar, you were complaining about AEW.
Right, you want me to move on? Okay. Right, next up, what happened was Adam Cole gets taken away by security, and then his girl comes out and slaps Jericho, calls him bitch Jericho, which I thought was a fantastic line, well written. Must have took about 3 weeks to come up with that line. Then you had Blackpool Combat Club, who is the American Dragon by Bryan Danielson, John Moxley, who was He was Dean Ambrose, I think. Is that right? Is that his
Yeah.
name in WWE?
Yeah.
You had
Yep.
Claudio Castagnoli, who was Cesaro, and another guy
Mhm.
called Wheeler Yuta, who I've never heard of. Brian Danielson's Brian Danielson's mic cut suit. I don't know whether that was just me or my feed that I was watching there, or whether everybody noticed that, but it fucked up and couldn't hear what he was saying. But he dropped an S-bomb. He said that Wheeler Yuta is a little shit and he hopes he's better than him, which I thought was quite cool. I don't like Moxley. I never liked him when he was Dean Ambrose, and I don't like him now. I think he forces it too much. But Brian Danielson,
he's contractually obligated to bleed in every match.
yeah, I've heard this. Yeah, I was reading someone that says they were surprised he wasn't bleeding in this interview. Or, yeah, but there's going to be a steel cage match apparently between Moxley and Omega, which would be quite good. Next up was this was the women's match when so it was Saraya came out with Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho's Ruby Riott from WWE.
Yeah.
Toni Storm was also in WWE. I think she was NXT or NXT UK.
Yeah.
And Saraya's
With
Paige,
NXT
obviously.
UK.
I thought this was going to be a 3-on-3 women's match at first when they came out, but it wasn't. It's a 1-on-1. And it was this Willow Nightingale, who I've never heard of before. This is a rubbish, terrible match, and you wouldn't think Paige was a fucking veteran at this point. It was really sloppy. Saraya goes over, and then they all start beating up on the fat girl. And then then what's I'm forgetting her name now. Is it Hikaru? What's the Japanese girl's name?
Oh shit!
I haven't written it down.
Is it Rio?
No, the
What's the other one?
she's got the kendo stick. She comes out with a kendo stick. I think it's Hikaru something.
I can't think of her.
Somebody
damn
in the
name.
chat. Shida. Thank you, Angela Straven.
Draven.
Hikaru
knows.
Shida comes
He's
out
got
with a
an-
kendo stick.
Draven's
Right as
got
she
an
comes
Asian
out, right as
fetish.
she comes out, I knew as she was coming out, fake out. She's gonna pretend she's gonna hit this girl, and then she's gonna hit them, and then another two come out, and it's Cole's girlfriend and another girl who I can't remember the name of, but apparently she's the AEW Women's Champion.
Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker.
So these
Adam
people who are all
Cole,
being
lady.
these people who are all being identified to me as champions, they've got no belts on. I don't see any belts anywhere. So they come out and even the odds up, and then Shida takes a spray can out and starts NWOing the girls on the ground, but the fucking spray paint is so weak that you can't see what she's writing. So she should have used black instead. It was rubbish, terrible. I don't know what this is leading up to. I don't know what's been happening before, or whether this is all leading up to some kind of women's title match or what. But I don't see how it can be, because the women's champion was an afterthought really in this. After that, there was a I don't know what this is called. Tres de Mayo Trios Battle Royal. I've written down. Right. There's like 18 guys in the ring, right? I don't know what the fuck is going on here, right? I don't know who's who. There's three that come out first, I think, is the Luchador guys. There's two of them that have got 2 titles on them. And I think it's the Ring of Honor tag team titles. I could be wrong. Is this the Lucha Brothers? Is this what they're called?
Yeah, the Lucha
Right, and
Brothers,
there's another
that's,
guy with a bull head. There's another geezer with a bull head. He's wearing a title. I don't know what the fuck that belt is. They don't identify him as any kind of champion. So he's got a belt on. They two have got the Ring of Honor belts. I have now counted about 18 titles in this fucking federation at this point.
Yeah.
Most of which I haven't seen and most of which haven't been identified to me, but there's just these random belts all floating around and random champions with no titles around their waist. I'm not going to even try and summarize this match. I can't even remember who won it. Not going to lie. Billy Gunn was in this fucking match.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn's about 60.
Yeah,
And
he looks better than half the roster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Dude,
he was
jacked.
He was one of the last ones in there, so I think maybe his team won. I could
Yeah,
be wrong.
the acclaimed one.
Right.
Yep.
So, but fucking 60-year-old Billy Gunn beats all these guys. Yeah, fuck knows. It was crazy, right? Kenny Omega and Don Callis do a promo. Don Callis has got a big cut on his forehead, and it looks real. Not a cut, a scar.
I know
And
the
he's pointing
story
out,
behind that.
oh, Moxley, you did this to me. And it looks like a real fucking scar. So either it's really good makeup or he's really
No,
been
it's
cut.
legit. It's legit.
Right.
Moxley ran in a couple weeks ago on Dynamite and fucking lit Don Callis up, just jacked him. Callis fell legit, and being bald headed. We don't have anything to. So he busted his head on like a table or something, and you could see it. It was like it was a big old gash on his head, and it was nasty. He had to have that shit like sewed up.
So he took one for the team then. See, I like.
Oh,
what
he was bleeding everywhere too when it
what,
happened.
What
like,
I'm not sure about here, and you'll have to maybe shed some light on this from me, Etep, is that Omega and Callis are coming over as heels here, but the guys that he's going to be facing, I think Blackpool Combat Club are also heels because they were dressing the fans down at one point during their promo. So is this a heel versus heel cage match, or is somebody being positioned as a babyface here?
Omega and like the Bucks are supposed to be babies. Omega is really over with the crowd. The Bucks are too. I'm not in that camp, but I give them credit, for some of their work, but especially Omega. Omega can put on a really solid match. I like the one-on-one stuff with him more than I do the trio. I'm not a trios fan. I've worked those matches and they're a cluster. I hate them. And like you were talking about that battle royal. See, I didn't see all of this. I didn't see this. Those matches are terrible to work in. It was
hard to tell what was going on. It was.
It's just.
I can only remember maybe a couple of teams as well.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help when you don't know who the hell anybody is. Right?
No, exactly, and it was the same with that Jobbers match at the start as well. When the Cassidy and his crowd were going against the Jobbers, I didn't know who was who. They all looked the same to me because they're all generic and wearing black, right? Make them look a bit different, at least. Dye one of their hair, at least. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I may watch that cage match. That might be good. But aside from that, I don't think I'm interested in anything else. The next one was Wardlow. He's a big guy, right? And he's got Arn Anderson with him. Now Arn Anderson's got to be about fucking 80 at this point because he was old when he was in WCW, and he's coming up against some nameless, entrance musicless jobber, and he just squashes this guy in 2 minutes. It's like waste of time. And he's asking for, after the match, he's asking for Christian to come out. Now, Christian comes out with a guy called Luchasaurus. Yeah. And Luchasaurus looks like a cross between, so he's supposed to be like a dinosaur luchador from the looks of it. And he looks like a cross between Kane and the Legion of Doom. This guy, he looks really cool.
He's a really good worker too. And I like Wardlow. The problem is they dropped the ball with him when they took the title off of him and gave it to Samoa Fat Ass Slow.
Which title did they take off of him?
Which one was it? Was it the AE? There's 900 titles. I'm trying to think. It was the one just above Pocket's title, which is Orange Cassidy. I can't remember. Is it the T?
Is that the TNT? Is it the TNT title?
It's the. Wait, isn't that which one? Jade Cargill's. Jade Cargill's got the TBS.
Jade Cargill's the big black girl, right? She's got the TBS.
I would pay her to step on me, but that's another.
I think
story.
You may have mentioned that. You may have mentioned that before.
Oh, I have.
What are you, Tony Atlas? All of a sudden?
Oh, I don't hide my kinks anymore. I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. They're all above board and legal, so it's fine. But no, she's got the TBS title. It was the TNT title. Thank you.
Yeah, so he's talking about a title shot of some sort, and I don't know what title he's talking about. So I'm going to assume it's that title. I'm going to assume that he's going after the TNT again.
I think so because they
maybe the world title. I don't know.
It was him and like Powerhouse Hobbs, big ass black dude. He's a good worker too. But
I think he was in the trios match. Yeah, I think I remember this guy from the trios match, the big black guy, the guy with the I think I remember him knocking a few people out of the ring. Yeah, he looked quite impressive. He was big imposing dude. I quite liked him. And I think Draven Powerhouse Hobbs, I think that name GM De Los Santos maybe told us to look out for him, as well as another guy who came up later on. So yeah, I was looking out for that guy anyway.
They're good. Yeah, Draven said in the chat they were hinting with Anderson coming out with Wardlow. They're hinting at forming a new 4 Horsemen group. Okay. Which Wardlow is, I like that. I really, really like him as a worker. He's got good charisma. He's one of the big. He looks like a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look like Darby Allin or Jungle Boy. You know, he's a man. He looks like when you think of a larger than life professional wrestler, like that's the kind of like look you think of, to me anyway. I mean, I'm that old school thing, but
Hopefully they
yeah.
don't put. Hopefully they're not going to put Arn Anderson in the new Four Horsemen. I think he's
going to give
at
up
this
his
time.
spot, my spot, not just any spot, liver spot.
he's going to stab somebody with scissors is what he's going to do anyway.
You know, wait. Speaking of stabbing, I was so disappointed at the Backlash show in Puerto Rico. I said, how can Vince McMahon do a show in Puerto Rico and no one gets stabbed in the fucking showers as a
Thank
fucking
you.
skit?
Yep.
I was like, he got no balls no more. Vince McMahon from 1997 would have had fucking Carlos Colon stabbing fucking somebody in the shower.
Vince
Vince-
McMahon would
Vince
have
is
had
like-
someone. He would have had someone stab him.
Hey, could you
That's the
imagine
kind of
Vince would have
balls
been back
Vince used to
there?
have.
Like, who stabbed Vince in the shower at fucking Backlash? Would have been
Vince,
fucking.
I got an idea. It's gonna be great. Listen, here's what we're gonna do, pal.
It's gonna be
I'm gonna
some
be
good
in the-
shit.
You're gonna love it, pal. It's gonna be great. The other guys are gonna be blown away, pal. All right, buddy. I'm gonna be in the shower and somebody's gonna stab me. Then the room's gonna blow up, but I'll wake up and be having sex with a diva, and it'll all be a dream, pal. Just like in Dallas, they'll love it. The kids love it. They love Dallas. God damn it, make it happen.
Meanwhile, Pat Patterson's ghost is sitting there fondling Mike Adamle. No, nothing for a Pat Patterson gay joke, really. He was huge in the Bay Area.
Who's making him push it and pull it, according to what's his name?
The crowd go banana.
The guy-
Yeah, Arn's going to be the manager of that like Horseman group, though.
So who's
Arn-
so this big guy and who else is going to be in it then? Who do you think?
I don't know offhand. I can't remember who they were. I think if they hinted at anybody else yet, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know who would fit in with it.
There's like 400 people on the roster. There's plenty.
There is.
There's been too many Four Horsemen. They need to come up with something new.
Mhm. But I mean, it hasn't really been done since what? I mean, you're talking. What was the last iteration?
Well,
like
it was
99?
WCW, I think. Yeah.
2000
Benoit
maybe.
and-
I think.
I don't
Benoit
know.
Malenko.
Wouldn't you count Fortune, and Impact with Ric Flair? They were pretty.
No, they
much-
have to be called the Four Horsemen to be.
Yeah, it's got to be
Four
called the Four.
Well, they
Horsemen.
were they're distinctly legally
Well,
separate from the
Arn-
Four Horsemen, but pretty much the Four Horsemen. and
Arn
everything but
owns
name.
the rights to the Horsemen.
Does he?
Yeah. Arn owns the rights to that. So, yeah, FTR, the modern Tully and Arn, except they're just both incredibly. Never mind. Never mind. But no, I liked FTR's work. I just man, I watched Dax work that singles match against Jarrett, and I'm like, damn, he's moving like rough. Like Jarrett is a hell of a worker at 55 years old. And he again, dude looks better than half the roster at 55. It's like, why are these guys not training to actually look like workers? You know, I mean, at least try.
They want to look like what workers in the modern era look like,
Ugh.
where the women are big and manly, and the guys are small and tiny.
Why is
Yeah.
I got nothing against Rhea Ripley again. I'll call her mommy, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's like they're like Dom and her. It's like this dude, like you never pick up a weight. Like, come on. Like it just bothers me. It's like you made it to the show. You know what I mean? Like you made it to the show. Look like you belong there. Act as if.
He's a weird one because usually they start training them like really early if they're going to take up
Mhm.
Lucha Libre. And he looks like he just one day just said, "Hey, Dad, you know what? Fuck it, I might as well just be a wrestler."
I think
Right?
that's how he's going to go. Do you think he's going to get the mask and all that? Because he's too tall, I think, to be flipping around like Ray.
I don't think he could get the mask because
No, you got to start
because
with
he's
it.
unmasked. Because he's unmasked.
No,
Yeah.
you could start unmasked. A lot of luchadors started unmasked, but they didn't start unmasked and then known that they were the son of somebody. Right?
Yeah.
But even if they were going to give him a mask, it'd be kind of weird because Rey Mysterio Jr. is not the son of Rey Mysterio, right? Hijo de
he's the
Rey
nephew,
Mysterio.
right?
Yeah, he's the nephew. And Rey Mysterio has a son that wrestles as the son of Rey Mysterio. So he couldn't be like Rey Mysterio the third. It'd be like he'd have to be his own thing.
He's Eddie's kid.
That's what I said. They should really play up that.
He looks like it because with a mullet and all that. So he could be.
He does. I got that. I ordered an one of the old school WCW Eddie Guerrero shirts. It says Eddie Guerrero's my favorite wrestler. I was like, I need an Eddie shirt.
JM says, "Is Dominic Mysterio Eddie's son? Why is he so much taller than Ray?" It's a thing in
Well, Eddie wasn't
Mexican
tall.
culture where the son is taller than the father. Lots of times, I'm taller than my dad. My
Yeah,
dad's like 6.
I'm taller than mine. My dad's underground now, so it's not hard to be taller.
Yeah, mine's 6 foot. I'm 6'3".
All right, you want me to move on? Keep going.
You can move
Are we
on.
bored of this yet? Right. There was a vignette, a Mark Briscoe vignette. Don't really know much about what was going on in it, so I'll move on from that quick. The next match was Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson, I do recognise from New Japan. I remember him at one point being the IWGP United States champion when I was watching it. Ricky Starks, I don't know anything about, but I think, and that's another guy GM De Los Santos told us to look out for. And he is quite good. He looks quite good in the ring. He pulled off a Dominator type move, the one that Farouk used to do, Braun Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his finisher? That looked quite good. But the thing is, this guy, Ricky Starks, looks about 200 pounds soaking wet. And if he tries to pull that off on anybody like Wardlow size, he's going to break his fucking neck doing it, I think. Unless the guy has really good core strength that we haven't seen. It looked good on Juice because Juice is quite light. But
yeah,
I don't know if that's a good finisher for a guy his size. But he looked good in the ring. He was this was a good match. I like this.
Draven says Ricky sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a big Ricky Starks fan. We just call everybody calls him.
Listen, it may well have been that Juice and him worked well together. I don't know because I haven't seen much of anything of what Ricky Starks has done. I'll have to look it up. But I thought he was all right. He hit a really cool spear before he hit that.
He has a punchable
Dominator.
face.
He does.
He called it the Rochambeau, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why he calls it that. That's when you get booted in the nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he's calling it that. But that was his. I liked it. Good match. I would have given it a 3.5 stars. And then I think the last match was that 4 Pillars tag team match. It went exactly how I thought it was going to go. There was a bit a backstage vignette beforehand where MGF came into Jungle Jack's dressing room and tried to get him to side with him and the usual shenanigans. But in the end, it was one of those ones where Jungle Boy was going to pin, what's his name? Was it Guevara he pinned or was it MGF? I think it was Guevara he pinned. And it was like one of those ones where he got blind tagged by his partner, and then the other guy pinned the guy anyway, and it was a bit of so they're setting up a bit of animosity between all 4 of them now because Sammy was about to turn on MGF as well, so it looks like that's going to be a tasty 4-way that I'm probably not going to watch. But that was Dynamite, and I think that will be the last Dynamite I watch because I wasn't feeling it, and also because I watched that. It kind of burned me out and I didn't watch Backlash or Raw or SmackDown. So I don't know what's been happening. So, thanks, James De Los Santos, for that suggestion. Cheers, buddy.
Fucking Darby Allin's the reason that I got turned off of AEW. The way they're
I cannot look at him as a credible main eventer. I'm sorry. I know I think people are like looking at him like he's some kind of Jeff Hardy 2.0.
He looks like some guy that wandered in from the crowd, like fucking someone jumped over the guardrails.
Like he looks like Eminem, and he's in it. It's Eminem who's run out of face paint halfway through painting his face. I don't know what the deal is with him. Was he with Sting at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Sting is kind of mentoring Darby Allin, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of him being in the main event. I think the dude's a better fit for like a mid card title, but they need to transition into the main event being about the bigger guys if you want to compete with WWE, which is absolutely possible given how piss poor WWE's product is. Just by listening to reviews of it and reading shit, the results, and loosely following it like that, it's just like, ugh, like there's nothing that interests me about that. I enjoy AEW for the most part. It's got its moments, but to me, it's much more watchable than the other one. And Draven invited you guys on to watch the pay-per-view with us because we'll be watching it on his channel, actually.
Which
So you're more
pay-per-view?
than welcome. The next AEW one at Wembley or whatever. Isn't that
when is
the
that?
one?
Is that All In? Is it called All In?
I think that's All In. I think
That
that's
might
the name of it.
actually be on at a reasonable time for me since it's in the UK. So
What day of the week
you're-
is it?
if I can make it, I'll maybe be there.
Saturday. It's a Saturday. Draven, isn't that a Saturday? Double or not? It's Double or Nothing. That's the
Nothing.
next one. Double or Nothing's the next one.
That's not the one in the UK. Then the one in the UK is All In,
No.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think is the one in the UK going to be one of those ones where
End of May.
nothing matters on it because it's like a rebellion or an insurrection back in the day. Do you remember them?
No, it's
no,
actually,
I do.
Does
I
it mean
remember those.
something?
It'll count. It'll all count towards the main television product. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
one-off. It's just
No.
they're just at Wembley.
All In is in August. Okay. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one in I hope that's not when I'm in frickin' Indianapolis for Horror Hound. Damn it.
Hicksville says probably Sunday since AEW doesn't respect the folk that work on Mondays. Hell no. Putting it on Sunday respects the people that work on Mondays because people who work on Mondays stay in on Sundays.
Yeah, it respects the people that work on Mondays in the US, not in the UK.
I don't know
Because
how
I
you-
remember watching. I remember going to college pretty tired on a Monday morning after pay-per-view back in the day when I was trying to watch them.
Yeah,
And Forbidden
pay-per-views were
Door in
always
June.
on Sundays.
This
They were
Forbidden
always
Door
on-
is this the New Japan crossover?
I think
is that
that
right?
was what. Yeah, because
That
we
might be
watched
worth
that
watching.
one. I think we watched that. We watched that one last year too. The Forbidden Door. I think that was the first. That was like the first. Was that the first AEW I watched? Because like I haven't started. I haven't been watching it. Maybe a year coming up. But like I said, I've enjoyed it like more so than because we watched some WWE pay-per-views and I'm just like WrestleMania. Like I went to WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. And I mean it was a good show, you know. I mean Benoit and MVP was a good match. I mean you had Taker and Batista, Cena and Michaels. I don't give a shit about John Cena. I couldn't see him anyway, but he wasn't worth seeing. I mean, there's like 5 moves he does. And that was before Shawn Michaels went full Forrest Whitaker eye too.
Well,
Yeah,
I had the pleasure of
got
watching
lost, didn't
SmackDown and Backlash and Monday Night Raw, and man, that's time I'm not getting back.
I did look up the results, so am I to understand that the one half of the world heavyweight championship match is now sorted? It's Seth Rollins, right?
Yeah,
So Cody was involved in it. Did he get pinned? Did they pin him?
no.
Right.
It was 2 3-way matches. One was a 3-way between Cody Rhodes,
okay.
Finn Balor, and The Miz, and the other was a 3-way between Rollins, Shinsuke, and Damian Priest. But that was on Monday. That was yesterday. First off, I don't know why this pisses me off, but it pisses me off to no end that they took the LWO shirts and put them into Puerto Rican flags, and the Mexican wrestlers were wearing Puerto Rican flag versions of the LWO shirts. This bothers me to no end.
Yeah, but it's all the same, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not all the same. That's the point.
I'm glad he said it. I was thinking it. I'm like, I'm just kidding.
Tony's called me English on a few occasions, so I'm sure he has. Or confused me with an Englishman, so it's all fair.
But the thing is, like, the LWO was, even though it was called the Latino World Order, it was a Mexican thing, right? It was a Mexican group.
Yep.
But if it's called the Latino World Order,
There
Is
wasn't
that
a
not-
single in
is that not
the
cool?
original WCW LWO. There was not a single non-Mexican wrestler in the group.
but this is a different LWO, Tony.
Well, they had the exact same shirts. They had the green, white,
But
and
you
red.
just said they changed it to Puerto Rican flags, so it's not.
Yeah,
it's
just
different.
because of Bad Bunny and because they were
Maybe
going
they-
to Puerto Rico.
Do they identify as Mexican, even though they're not? That's the question. They could identify as, right? Is that a thing?
I don't think Bad Bunny does. I think Bad Bunny's too proud of his home nation.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, he's
he's
Puerto
at
Rican.
great pains to mention that he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
Puerto
Zelina Vega.
Did Carlito come back as well? Did I read that right? Carlito came back and did a run in.
Yeah,
And they gave him an LWO shirt, and they gave
Did
Savio
they?
Vega. They were just handing out LWO shirts to every Latino wrestler they had.
Did you say Savio Vega as well?
Yeah,
I
he
heard
even,
he
he
was
even
there.
gave a kendo stick, a Puerto Rican flag kendo stick, to Bad Bunny. I think the build-up was pretty good. SmackDown going into Backlash, they had a mixed tag. Zelina Vega, Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio versus Dominic and Rhea Ripley. That was the main event. And I think they fucking missed the opportunity. Why did they have them going in there winning, right? You knew they were going to win at the pay-per-view. You knew these people, that fucking Bad Bunny and them, were going to win. So
Yeah.
you got to give the audience like a doubt. Like, oh shit, they actually lost right before the pay-per-view. Maybe they won't win. Maybe there is,
Yep.
but you're just like, nah, we're just going to let them win because they're in Puerto Rico. Fuck it. I think Bad Bunny should have lost. I was arguing this with, like I said, Aaron and DL. They're like, "Oh no, but it doesn't hurt the credibility of Damian Priest." I'm like, dude, he lost to a fucking singer.
No,
like-
no, that was like as ridiculous as when they're putting like Jay Leno over and
Yeah.
Hogan and that. Like,
No, but even the Jay Leno stuff, I could defend it because if you watch the match, Jay Leno puts him in like an arm bar or something. He sells a couple moves for Leno. Then Leno gets out of the ring and then DDP takes over and fucking does the match, right?
DDT doesn't. Yeah, DDP did most of the work.
And the same thing with Karl Malone. Like Karl Malone did a couple
Yep.
things. They got their pictures and then like, all right, get out of the ring.
Yep.
But this was like he's in the ring, he's wrestling the whole match. They should have lost. I know he's in Puerto Rico, but you had a chance to start a riot. That would have been the first riot in WWE history, right? The crowd would have been pissed. The amount of heat on Damian Priest and everything would have been so hot. And it's not like they're going back to Puerto Rico every other week for a fucking pay-per-view or something, right? This is like a one-off. So fuck it. Who cares if we piss those guys off, right?
Yep.
They're not
Get
coming
him some
back anyway.
heat, man. Get him some heat.
It's pretty shocking that there's never been a riot in WWE considering some of the bad finishes.
The fans are too soft nowadays.
I remember being at WCW shows in the 90s at the Saginaw Civic Center and like drunk ass old dudes in Sting masks. Like me and my buddies are like just out of high school. We're like 17, 18, and guys is hammered in our section. He's got a long trench coat and a Sting mask. And he goes, "I'm going to the ring." And he's drinking a beer. And next thing you know, you see him get one leg over the guardrail and just get plowed by security. Like they didn't even fucking wait. They just like tackled him. It was freaking hilarious. Beer went flying everywhere. I was like, he was trying to take his beer. I give him credit for that.
So yeah, that was ridiculous. I guess. And again, I was arguing with these guys, and they're telling me, "Oh, well, Johnny Knoxville beat somebody at WrestleMania in like a hardcore match."
Yeah, and it was stupid.
and I was like, that doesn't fill me with joy. Like that doesn't like, oh yeah, so that helped.
Yeah,
right? They're like, well, that didn't kill his career. I'm like, well, it should have, right? It's fucking ridiculous.
But is the sort of consensus not that Bad Bunny is quite a good wrestler?
He's decent for what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen him work once, I think.
But I don't see him beating Damian Priest, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? there was no build up with like, okay, look, here's Bad Bunny wrestling some guys, and we're actually trying to build him as a wrestler, right? Because he's not trying to be a wrestler. He's just coming off, fucking doing his appearances. Fucking take the loss.
Yep.
Take the loss. If you
Give
actually
him-
respect the business and that's why you came in here and because you like it, and you're friends with Damian Priest, fucking take the loss.
You come in, you get a little bit of shine, cut off, hope spot, and then go into the heat and just double down, get another hope spot, and then the heel, but the heel go over clean. Honestly, like you don't really need a dirty finish in a match like that. The heel should look dominant in the end. And I mean, you can tell the story. How he could have worked 12 to 15 and put Priest over clean and still made him look like a monster, but give him a little bit of credibility for coming there and looking like he, Bad Bunny or whatever his name is, for doing the job, but still looking halfway decent and not making himself look stupid, but he's still putting over the worker. That's the way it should be.
There's a story about Jake the Snake Roberts. Say what you want about Jake the Snake. When he was working in like Mid-South, they had brought in Muhammad Ali, right? Muhammad Ali. And the gimmick was Muhammad Ali was going to come out. Here comes a heel. Muhammad Ali hits him with fucking hit. Heel goes down. Another guy comes in. They just were going to feed all these heels to Muhammad Ali. And so it gets up to Jake, and Jake goes up there, and he gets hit, and he fucking takes it. He shuffles. He does the Muhammad Ali shuffle and tells him, come on, hit me again. And fucking he no-sells for Muhammad Ali. Okay?
I love it.
And he gets in the back, and he's getting yelled at. They're fucking, what the hell? We brought Muhammad Ali. Why would you no-sell? He said, hey, I have to work here tomorrow. Muhammad doesn't. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the same attitude they should have had there with fucking Bad Bunny. Damian
Absolutely
Priest
right.
had to work the next night. How do I look into the match and go, oh yeah, Damian Priest was definitely a legitimate contender in the triple threat on Monday. He's going to go to the world title match, right? He fucking just lost to Bad Bunny.
Was he beaten clean, Tony? Was there any?
No, there was all kind of shenanigans, but that makes it even worse. It's like, just fucking, if you're going to do all kind of shenanigans, just have him fucking lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because didn't he come down with a cart full of weapons and shit?
Yeah.
Because it was a Puerto Rican street fight, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And it was also, I guess they must have had some kind of contractual obligation with Bad Bunny to put him in a main event because they were billing it as a main event. That was like the fourth card. That was the same shit they did with the Demon back in WCW.
Yes.
What are the Puerto Rican crowd like? Are they likely to riot if their boy doesn't go over? Or
yeah,
I don't know
probably.
how
That's why I
hot
said
they
that they had a chance to have an actual riot.
Having
I'm
dated a Puerto Rican women, if there's any females in the crowd, I'd be afraid. I'd be fucking terrified.
Backlash was lackluster. Bianca Belair, she defeated Io Sky. It was kind of they telegraphed it to like, hey, if she wins the match at Backlash, she'll be the longest reigning women's champion in history. I'm like, oh well, she's gonna fucking win now, right? Now that you've mentioned that, there's no way she's losing.
I don't see anything special or stand out about her. I really don't.
I heard people call her the female John Cena. That's how much the crowd loves her.
They do. They do pop for her, but I don't understand it. I don't. And I like women's wrestling for more than the aesthetics of it. But I mean, because there's been some really talented female workers that have come through. I mean, a lot of them were always underrated and just underappreciated. It's bad situation, but I mean, look at Medusa. I mean, Molly Holly finally got hers in the Fed, after being just put on the shelf in WCW. Speaking of female wrestlers, Lita does not need to go anywhere near a ring. Watching her move in the ring was sad. It was sad. Was it Mania? Draven watched that. I think that match, she was just like, oh, Trish still looks like she can work in the ring, Lita her body is just not able to do the shit she's trying. I mean, she's just it's just like, girl, don't, like, you're it just as like, as somebody who's been in the ring, not to that extent, but I don't want to see her die early because she thinks she needs to do this.
Didn't she
Well,
fuck
they've-
up her neck already?
Oh
They've-
yeah.
They've got to be mid to late 40s, both of them, anyway, as it is. Surely they're both, or at least one of them is a mother as well, right? Should be doing that shit after you give birth.
I don't think neither one of them. Had
Neither
kids.
of them.
I thought, doesn't Trish have a kid? I thought
Maybe.
one of them had a kid. I don't know. Yeah, Draven said, I think I was with him too. Asuka should have went over on Bianca Belair at Mania, and that match was, they didn't give Asuka any shine barely in that at all, which was pathetic. Oh yeah, Draven said Trish has kids.
Why are they building her up as a heel now? She's like always been.
I have no idea. Trish was a
hasn't always
heel at
been a
one
face.
point.
She was a heel, yeah. She was a heel quite a few
Yeah, she
times.
was a
Yeah,
heel.
but after
she was
after
kinda
so
like a-
long, everyone just it was just
She
like,
was-
oh, she's the
She
hot
came out with
one.
TNA at first.
There was one point where she was like fucking face turning and heel turning as much as a Big Show.
Mhm.
I remember.
Oh, that's at like breakneck pace.
Heath Slater
Yeah.
got kids. Yeah, I remember seeing a clip of that. Yeah. I don't give a no. What did he say? I don't give a shit about your kids.
Yeah, I did.
You
see
really
that.
believe it when Brock Lesnar says it as well.
We had Seth freaking Rollins defeated Omos. He did like this super stomp. I don't even fucking...
That he can't do. There's so many reasons. I'm not even making the joke. I'm not on my channel. I'm not going to do it.
No,
Not
no,
gonna
go
do
on.
it.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Seth Rollins curb stomping a black guy. Is that really a look WWE wants to go for right now? Is that what you really want to do, WWE?
And they went with it.
Seth Rollins' ex-girlfriend was one
He's
of
a
those
good guy, right?
Yahtzee type people.
I
That's so funny.
don't know if Seth Rollins is a good guy. Or
He's a babyface.
Is he a
Clearly.
face now?
Yeah, he's clearly a babyface. Who was he?
I don't
Who was he?
even know.
Who was he going
I
against
would
at
say he's
Mania?
more like a tweener. He's like Macho Man. Like he was a face, but you kind of like he still had a little heelish
Mhm.
aspects to him.
Anytime the crowd are singing your song and they're not adding "you suck" to the song, you're a face.
Lita has kids. I thought she didn't.
I thought they both would have had kids at this point.
Well,
I remember her in ECW when she was Danny Doring's girlfriend.
Yeah,
That's
Miss
how she
Congeniality.
debuted. Yep.
No, she debuted in Mexico where fucking El Dandy was pounding her. From
El
around in the ring.
Dandy, holy shit. El Dandy and Silver King, Los Fabulosos.
They were passing her around in Mexico, according to
That's
the stories.
Who, Lita?
Yeah, have you not seen that? There's a whole like Angel Fire document.
No,
Like, all these wrestling stories, and that's one of them.
I never paid attention to any Mexican wrestling.
No, there's like a thing with like all the like rumors of in wrestling, and one of them is that
she came into the Fed with was it Aguila, who was Essa Rios.
yeah.
Because I just remember seeing her in ECW for a little while, and then, like I said, she showed up in the Fed and with them, and then she went and did her own gimmick, did the whole Hardy gimmick and all that, yada yada yada.
The Hardy gimmick was her best gimmick with the little.
It was.
Song
Hanging
out.
Yep. At that, yep.
S.A. Rios, man. Mr. Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah.
Lita is Trash's godmother. Trish's godmother to her son. Damn, they're that close. So we had Seth Rollins. Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. Of course, there was some shenanigans. Wasn't a clean. Bobby Lashley, I don't know why. There's so many like ex champions that are like just relegated to like mid card status all of a sudden. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. It's like every other match is like, oh, this guy's a former fucking world champion. I'm like, why is he in a tag team? Why is this guy in like an opening bout? What the fuck's going on?
This is a bizarre world.
Yeah. In the old days, I know there was a lot of gatekeeping, like these guys were the fucking top, and no one could bust into the top, and there was a lot of complaints about this. But now there seems to be so much fluidity that's like a guy's fucking champion one night, and like fucking 2 weeks later he's fucking curtain jerking. I'm like,
Well, look at that, what they did with Jinder Mahal. They put the world title on him after he'd been jobbing out all the time. Do you remember? I remember seeing this happening at the time.
Well, that's because they were trying to get that big India market.
Because they were going to go to India for a pay-per-view, and I think they took the title off him before the Indian pay-per-view as well. If memory serves me right. He never even made it to India. He never made it to India with his title, because I think he went up against Triple H in India on just a normal singles match. And I think Triple H went over.
Well, I mean, they had the Great Khali waiting in the wings. They could have put the title on him.
Oh, Jesus.
He had the world title at one point.
He did.
Khali did.
He also killed the guy in a ring, so there's that. Yeah, he killed the guy in training.
Was the world title his reward?
This was before he was even in WWE. He was like,
so it wasn't like a performance center.
Was that like fucking some Indian performance center? He just fucking powerbombed the guy and fucking killed him.
It was during a Bollywood routine, and he went to the wrong direction, and his little move was strong enough to just knock the guy's head off his shoulders.
He's another Yeti. Fucking
that guy, the Yeti. The Yeti. Ron, that was fucking Reese from The Flock.
Yeah.
Or as he originally debuted as Big Ron Stud.
Oh, he got heat for that because apparently
he did not have
permission. Yeah, he claims he had permission.
He did
from Big John Stud.
No, from the family. He was claiming to be
at that point.
Yeah, he was claiming to be like the son or the nephew of John Studd, and I think Heenan got involved. He's like, "You're not fucking. No one gave you permission to do this gimmick." And
Bobby managed him. Shit, Bobby was managing him at WrestleMania 1 in the $15,000 body slam match with Andre.
Yeah. Fucking wrestling. Either way, moving along. Austin Theory, I like him on the mic. I think he's good. I don't think he should. Yeah, I don't think he should went over. They shouldn't have him up against like fucking Bobby Lashley and that. But he's still the U.S. champ.
I love Theory's entrance music. It's awesome, man. Gets you hyped.
Then Rhea Ripley, she was up against Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega dedicated this match to her father, and she came up short. That's the one they decided to lose, right? Hey, let's fucking have Zelina Vega lose.
Yeah, but they're not putting anybody around Rhea right now. She's money. Rhea's money right now, so they won't put anybody over on her.
Is this right that the ultimate idea is that they're going to have the two women's champions face each other for a unification? Is that happening or not?
No. They're probably going to do another title swap like last time. Here's the title. They just switch.
I think they should just do away with both titles and bring in a women's version of the two men's titles. A la NXT.
I think Omos should put a wig on and just wrestle as a woman.
And win one of the women's titles, yeah. And then just squash everybody he ever comes up against.
Just like, what's his name did? Harvey Whippleman when he was wrestling as a woman for a little while. Yeah, so Rhea Ripley wins. I think she should have lost. They should have let Zelina Vega go over. Maybe not win the championship. Maybe, a count out. Rhea Ripley leaves something.
DQ.
No, they weren't.
Dude,
yeah,
DQ.
But I don't think they were going to put both the locals over.
Yeah, well, that's why I said Bad Bunny should have lost, right? You fucking give them Zelina Vega to quell the crowd, and then Bad Bunny loses. Bad Bunny did.
I think the Bad Bunny losing would have caused the riot, to be honest.
Which would have been international news. You know how fucking it's free publicity right there. And then we wouldn't have had to suffer through the Bloodline match or the Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar shit. Because that would have been the end of it. So we got the bloodline, more teasing of what's going on with Solo Sikoa and the Usos. Matt Riddle was just in the match for reasons of needing to be pinned, right? They wanted to pin somebody. It wasn't going to be Owens or fucking Zayn. And then Cody Rhodes defeated Brock Lesnar. Why were they fighting? No one knows. No one knows. Still haven't revealed.
Thody Rhodes. It's me, Thody. Did you know Dusty Rhodes is Cody's dad?
I didn't even realize that.
Were you aware? Dun, 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 dun.
The more you know. The greatest promo by what's his name? The idiot. The other son, Dustin. When Dustin came out dressed as the dad, fruit of my loins, fruit of my loins, my fruit of my loins. That shit was hilarious.
With Goldust.
No, he came out. He was on WCW, and he had just dropped the fucking. They had that stupid Uncle Fester gimmick that he was going to do, and they dropped that.
It's Goldust. It's the same guy. Is what I mean. It was
him,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out as what was it? 7? Is that the name of the character?
Yes,
Yeah.
7.
And he just buried it. He just
The child molester. He's outside your window. They're like, dude, fucking drop this. Like the first night.
He buried the gimmick as soon as he came out.
He did. He Triple H that. He had the shovel and everything, and very well he should have. They never should have done that. That was the word. Oh my god, that was terrible.
But I always watch that, and it always makes me think: was that the point? Did they actually believe in the gimmick, or were they like, "Hey, let's do something really stupid, have you bury it, and that's going to be your gimmick, right? That you bury it."
I don't think so. I think
I don't think they were playing 4D chess.
I think he buried it legit, and they worked it into a shoot. I think.
Yep.
Same as the thing same with the finger poke of doom. I don't think that was a work at all. I think they worked it into it was a shoot that got worked later to make it look like they knew what they were doing, but fucking they didn't know what they were doing because look at the rest of it that was happening.
All I know is the finger poke of doom. When that happened, I popped, my dad popped, my brother popped. We were excited. Everybody at school was excited. Fucking NWO was back. It's gonna go back to fucking basics. And then they just shit the bed afterward. But still, that one night was fucking glorious. You Super J says, I thought network standards and practice forced WCW to kill 7. They might have, because it looked like he was a fucking child molester waiting outside your window to fucking kidnap your kids.
It was. I wonder if they have. I haven't made up to that point on Nitro yet to see if they have those on Peacock, or not. But I'm kind of interested if they cut those out of the Nitro segments because I bet you they're on YouTube somewhere. That's what got my channel demonetized. I was making WCW shorts.
They've not even cut Benoit out of any of the episodes, have they? He's still in everything, isn't he?
He's all on Nitro. I've been watching the Nitro.
No, I mean, he's all over WWE as well.
I'm surprised they didn't just put a black thing all over him.
Yeah, he's just covered by a big black dot. Yeah. It's like an image of Muhammad.
Hi, Muhammad.
They've got the tech now to do the deep fake, so that's why I was saying they should put Stevie Richards' face over him and just claim it was Steven Richards in every match.
Steven Richards. Big Stevie Cool.
WrestleMania 20 triple threat. Stevie Richards versus Triple H.
He won the title. He can claim it.
With a fucking crossface.
Stevie Richards.
I wonder if he did that, if Stevie Richards did that, claimed that was his win, what would WWF do? Right? Because they couldn't be like, no, you didn't win. Chris Benoit, like, oh shit, we can't mention his name. But you didn't win. We know that. Well, Who won? Tell me who won then, fucking Vince. Like, well, never mind. You know what? Fucking Steve, you won. It was Steve.
It was a singles match.
Hey, hang on a minute. I'm back here with this intern. They've already got me busted flat. I don't care at this point.
What Benoit did was horrible. Makes you wonder how much that action can be attributed to TBI. Well, we all know that it was actually what's his name that did
it wasn't Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan did it.
It wasn't Kevin
I saw
Sullivan.
a YouTube video. It all made sense.
Freaking Benoit was on so many drugs, and a lot of the shit he was on was black market garbage. And how many can cut? Yeah, little Dynamite Kid Jr. over there, like smashing his head. I mean, yeah, he was.
He's fucked up. Yeah.
He was gonna die within 10 months of that anyway, the doctors said. After running all the reports, they said that he only had about 8 to 10 months left to live anyway. His heart was gonna fucking give out because all the steroids and pills and other substances he did illicit.
That's the
You
thing.
know?
It's a shame that he decided to take his wife and kid with him, because if he had if the clock had just run out on Benoit on its own, he'd be in Hall of Fame now, and it would have been.
Oh, absolutely.
And we wouldn't need to. It wouldn't be so horrible looking back at WrestleMania 20 at the end when him and Eddie are hugging and they're both world champions. It's kind of shit watching it now. But
yeah. He would have just been like Eddie. He would have mysteriously died in a hotel room as Chavo was cleaning up all the drugs and everything. No, my uncle was not on any drugs. Don't worry.
Right.
Flushing them down the toilet.
Well, why is the toilet clogged with all these amphetamines?
That was mine.
Those were here when we checked in.
Yeah.
Those were here when we checked in.
You didn't have those in your room when you checked in? We checked in. There was like 3 big bags of drugs just sitting here.
Yeah. I thought those were complimentary, like the Bible and
Eddie must have took a giant shit, Holmes. I don't know.
So yeah, the pay-per-view was kind of lackluster. I didn't really like it. Maybe I'm not Puerto Rican enough for the pay-per-view. Maybe that's what it was.
You're close enough, though. I mean, you should have liked it.
I should have.
You should have liked it. Aren't you culturally?
I'm going to get you one of those
like
LWO shots, Tony. One of the LWO shots with the Puerto Rican flag on it.
With the blue.
Yeah. And you will wear it.
So Monday Night Raw, we had 2 triple threat matches and then a final tournament match. I don't understand why they had the tournament breaking up into fucking Raw and SmackDown. That didn't make any sense. Why SmackDown guys are competing for this world title that is a Raw.
My question,
title.
Has this been answered? What happens if a SmackDown guy wins that Raw title? Does he jump to Raw? Is that what happens? Hasn't been answered.
No one knows. They haven't thought that far ahead.
Have they announced who's in the SmackDown bracket?
I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah. I think
Is Roman in it? Is Roman in the bracket?
I want to say no, but don't quote me on that.
He can't be, can he? Because if he is, he's winning it, right? Because he hasn't been beaten in a couple of years now.
It's undefeatable.
Yeah, he can't be in it, surely.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me. No, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's in it, but in this, we had Seth Rollins, Nakamura, Damian Priest. That's how they opened the show. And again, I'm not booking. I'm not a fucking booker. But why are you going to have a triple threat match, a triple threat match, and then a fucking singles match? Put 3 triple threat matches and then a triple threat match as your fucking semifinals, right? If that's how you're building up the tournament, why have the fucking triple threat matches anyway? Or whatever. It's all like, hey, we can't let this guy fucking lose. We can't let this guy lose. So let's fucking make them triple threats. So we're fucking covering everyone's ass. Nakamura, who was on fucking SmackDown, right? He just got drafted. He changed over to Raw. He goes over, leaving SmackDown, then comes over to Raw and gets his ass whipped. Whatever.
They've never handled him right.
He won a fucking Royal Rumble and he never won the title at Mania, did he?
Yeah. No.
But like I said, like you had him leaving SmackDown, right? And you figured, oh well, he won his exit match, so they must be big things on fucking, on tap for him. Then you put him in this match with Seth Rollins, who was the favorite, and you're like, oh fuck, he's losing. So yeah, Rollins goes over on Nakamura and Priest. Big shock. Then we had Mustafa Ali and Otis. For whatever reason, they're still building this whole Maxine Dupree thing with Otis and the Maxwell male models. And in the midst of all this, fucking Otis takes the loss, which makes no sense to me, right? Why are you scouting this guy if he's fucking losing?
I don't like Otis.
I really, yeah, he is kind of fat, but I really think that they're going to do this whole swerve where they bring him into the models, and fucking Chad Gable fucking turns and like, oh, we actually wanted Gable the whole time. We don't like you, fatty. Or at least that's what would happen like 20 years ago. Now we can't call people fat, so I don't think that's going to happen. No, you can't be mean to the fat guy. We love everybody at all sizes. Then, of course, we had Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, and fucking The Miz. And this was a shock because fucking Finn Balor actually went over. And I was just complaining the other day about it. I was like, why is Finn Balor in this fucking group? He's like the other guy in the group. You got Damian Priest, fucking Dominic, Rhea Ripley, and then the other guy. But he actually goes over because, of course, shenanigans with, what's his name, Brock Lesnar coming out, who's still no idea why he hates fucking Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
It's probably that neck tattoo.
I mean, it would make sense if when he initially attacked Cody Rhodes, a few weeks back, if the whole reasoning would have been, hey, I know that after you lost to Roman Reigns, that the crowd was still behind you and you were going to get a match, right? The office was going to see that and give you the rematch. I want the match against Roman. So I took you out so I would have the opportunity to face Roman, right? Then you're building towards the title still, and it's still tangentially related to the Roman Cody thing going on, right? But you're kind of throwing in Brock Lesnar as a little fucking third wheel, and you kind of got this momentum still going. But they're like, no, we're just going to have him attack him and never say the reason why. And then we're going to have the announcers constantly question why he did that. Because that's fucking booking.
I questioned it like Nancy Kerrigan questioned the knee clubbing she took at the Olympics, at the Olympic trials, and Tanya Harding's goons. Damn it, Galooly.
Brock can't challenge Roman again due to some stipulation. Well, see, you could do that. You could have him. He took out Cody, right? And you could say that Brock Lesnar is taking out everybody. If I take everybody out, then fucking Roman has no choice but to face me, right? There's nobody left.
Well, what if Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble?
Yeah. Then I guess he'll have to
It's a
face
possibility.
They'll be like, well, you can't face Roman. You have to face the guy holding the fucking the other title.
Was the world title?
What if he wins money? What if he wins Money in the Bank again?
They'll probably say the same thing, like, oh, you can't cash it in for fucking Roman.
If
there is a stipulation.
What title does Reigns have? Which one is it? Is
the
it
Universal
title? He's okay. So he's, but didn't he have? Did he have both of them before they?
He does have
split?
both.
Yeah.
He still got what? What is it? The Universal title and
he has the Universal in the WWE.
Yeah.
The WWE title.
They're currently the only two active titles in the company.
All right.
The World Championship's not in play yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're having the tournament for that. So
yeah. So they will.
Right.
I assume they will retire that Universal one, and they'll just bring a new WWE Championship out. I'm assuming. Why would you need two belts?
So he could have two different title reigns.
Won't.
So he could have the longest combined title reigns.
But this is the strange one because he's 1,000 days is on the Universal alone. The WWE, he's not at 1,000 days. He's at a year and a half, maybe 2 years, isn't he? Yeah. 600 or something like that. So if they combine it, they're going to try and say it's a 1,000-day title reign anyway.
Well, they're trying to get him past Bruno, aren't they?
Yeah, Superfan.
Isn't Bruno 6 years or something?
Something like that. No, Roman will carry both because he still sucks.
Yeah. He'll have both of those belts until he loses it, and then it'll be amalgamated. WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And Cody beats him.
Oh no.
That's what will happen.
Damn it. Thody Rhodes. I've been it's funny, speaking of like long title reigns, I've actually been IWE Tag Team Champion right now for 2,112 days and counting.
Have they just forgotten about you?
Well, I think so. Listen, this is what happened. I had to hand my belts over to the office, and my tag partner did the same thing. And then the two guys from our stable that lost them, we weren't even in the company, so we never actually lost the belts. So their tag team titles from here on out are they're illegitimate. So
You should
we're
start
still
cutting
the one
promos on them.
I was thinking about doing it because we've already got a gimmick with my friend's promotion to kind of rib the other promoter because he's a douchebag. Let me put it to you this way. He's the guy that fakes being in a wheelchair and then has a benefit show and then pockets all the money and spends it on photo shoots for his wife. So that's
So he's
all
the
I'm gonna
Dynamite
say
Kid?
about that.
So of course, not then after that travesty, we had Dana Brooks versus Rhea Ripley. Apparently, Dana Brooke asked for this match. She wanted to show just what she could do, and then she gets her ass whooped by Rhea Ripley.
I used to love Dana Brooke, man.
Yeah, she's criminally underutilized, man. They could push her.
Yeah, well, they're not pushing her because she did her thing, lost, and then Natalia comes out, and that's who they're pushing. She gets in the face of Rhea Ripley. No farting. She didn't fart this time.
I was gonna say, did she bust ass?
And they finally gave her the gas X.
They're like, stop eating this list of foods the day of shows, please. At least TV. At least TV. House shows, we don't care.
Where do you hear her breaking wind?
That was her gimmick.
Right. It's a gimmick. It wasn't like she almost shat her pants in the ring like CM Punk did.
No, for whatever reason, they're like, let's give her the gimmick where she just fucking farts.
Right, yeah.
Sid shit himself in the ring.
Yeah.
Sid.
I'm surprised that they even brought her out there.
Sid's legally retarded, though. But.
Yeah. He's got half a brain and 50% of the brain power that you got or something.
The best one was when he was like, oh, can we start over? And no, we're live, pal.
Sid is the only guy who kept a straight face when the Shockmaster fell over as well. He was still fucking... He was still
in
kayfabe, man.
Yeah.
That's just his default facial expression.
The rest of them, Davey Boy's going, I fell on his fucking arse.
Well, he was friends with Downtown Bruno, and he had to put over that drunk all the time. So she comes out, and now she's in Rhea Ripley's face, and they're building that up. And I'm shocked that they brought her out because, squeaky clean PG-13 WWE, but she's out there with the sister, like fucking practically doing porn on OnlyFans. Oh no, that's the other one I'm thinking of. Oh, is that? Yeah, that's Neidhart's daughter. Yeah, her and the fucking sister out there like half naked. And WWE's always fucking squashing that shit. That's why they fired Mandy Rose, right?
Oh yeah, man,
they never used to.
No, she was. Yeah, she's not. She can actually work though. She's fine as hell. Goddamn, she's fine. Damn, she is. She's fine, man.
I'm just wondering if they're gonna put a squash to Natalia's extracurriculars. Like, we're gonna bring you back, but you can't do all this other shit.
I'm surprised. They don't let that shit fly up there, man. They got that like you said, that PG-13. It's not the Attitude Era. They're not releasing divas lingerie photo shoots, and I don't think they do that anymore.
Then, of course, we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Imperium. The Imperium, who lost on SmackDown on the way out, comes over to Raw to lose once again. Are these guys supposed to be good? Are they supposed to be like...
Who's the Imperium?
They're the ones with Gunther, right?
Oh. Gunther's actually... I like him. He was the Royal Rumble. Dude, he was freaking in there forever.
He's got in good shape since he was in the Indies in Britain. He used to be a bit chubby.
Well, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, they lost.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're positioning, because that's 2 in a row, right? And again, I know losses don't really mean anything. It's all scripted, but it does seem like they're like kind of burying these two. Like maybe they're going to break away Gunther. Like, hey, you don't need them no more. They're like fucking nobodies.
Yeah.
Then we had a women's match, which is, again, I don't know how they're fucking doing these orderings, right? You had the Rhea Ripley early in the card. Now you have fucking Nikki Cross and Zoe Stark, who I've never heard of either one of them. Neither one is a champ.
Nikki Cross is a fellow Glaswegian. She was in.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she was in. What were they called in NXT? Chat will help us out. They were like a fucking goth group of some sort. They had.
I love it when Mean Gene yells "fuck
Eric
it" when
Young.
the sign in at WrestleMania 3 falls.
Yep.
Young was at the stable. I can't remember the name of the stable now.
Oh shit! Didn't the Fed just sign him back? I
Yeah,
think
and he's not doing
they
anything.
just
I think
signed
he's been
Eric
on the
Young
books.
back.
I think he's been on the books for. I don't think they've just signed him back. I think he's been on the books for a while now. They've just not done anything.
Oh, has he? But
As
I
far as
thought
I know.
they were they're bringing him back to TV or something. I don't know. I thought they were going to do something with him.
Well, either way, we had these two women. I didn't care about either one of them. Zoe Stark wins. So they're like, yay, who cares? And we had a Trish Stratus promo. She was cutting down Becky Lynch. And then, of course, Becky Lynch shows back up. And I was like, oh, I don't give a shit. I'm so, like, not invested in any of the shit that's going on fucking Monday Raw. I don't know what it is. I used to be on the edge of my seat with all this shit. Xavier Woods versus Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio beats Woods. Why? Why WWE? Dominic should not be winning matches. He should be losing matches. He should be doing the whole chicken shit. Doesn't really want to get in the ring. You know, playing uber heel, fucking Mid-South heel style.
Yep.
But no, they're trying to like build him like he's a legitimate fucking competitor. He's like, he looks like a fucking joke. And then we had the semifinals. Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. And of course, Seth Rollins wins. Finn Balor goes down. And that's how we ended the show. There was really no excitement for the match. Like, I don't think anybody thought that fucking Finn Balor was going to win.
So that was the reverse of when they introduced the Universal title. I remember it was those two that were competing for it.
Yeah.
And Finn Balor went over on that one.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you go from you fucking went over fucking Seth Rollins, right? You're on top. Now you've fallen so far down the card. But we're still going to try to pretend like you're good, right?
It was because at the time he had his makeup on. This time he didn't have it, so he didn't have the extra power.
Yeah, that's what.
If you go on WWE 2K23 or whatever it is, you can play as either of them, and the one with the makeup's got better stats than the one that doesn't, because that's how it works.
Yeah. Well, I think they did the same thing with Alexa Bliss, like the 2021 version. For some reason, is in 2022, and she's got better stats, I think,
because she's gone emo, which gives her extra power.
All in all, I'm not looking forward to watching more Raw, more fucking SmackDown. Nothing is really drawing me in. And since you guys are both here, Finbar might know, but maybe Etep knows. Why the fuck do they call it NXT?
Why do they call it NXT?
Yeah, NXT. What does it stand for, right? WCW, World Championship Wrestling. WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. NXT, what does it stand for? It's not called Next. No. They're like, it's not Next. It's NXT. Well, it has to stand for something, right? You can't just say 3 letters and it doesn't stand for anything.
I got nothing.
Right? So just say it's Next, right? Pronounce it as Next.
Yeah.
Like Next without the E.
That's what I always thought it was.
Yeah, well, I was calling it that, and they're like, no, it's NXT. I'm like, what does it stand for? It's just NXT. It's just NXT.
Just bring back OVW and get Cornette back.
Yeah.
Right.
Have him slapping Santino Gorilla.
I ain't going back to work for fucking Vince never again. I'm sitting at home right now recording with Brian Lass. Shit.
That's all.
Rodney,
That's all I wanted.
Rodney,
I just wanted Etep to do Cornet again.
I'm just a small town bird lawyer. Explain it to me real slow now, Brian Lass.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
The dude on what the hell's his name? The guy from Wrestling with Regret, Brian Zane.
Brian Zane, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't his gimmick like he was the son of Cornette at one point?
I don't know. Was he? Was he?
Yeah,
doing
it
that?
was because he. I remember seeing a video from him where it's like that was like part of his gimmick, and then like he's like, and fucking Cornette blocked me. Eventually, Cornette blocked him because they got in an argument over wrestling.
That's fucking great. Yeah, Cornette blocked me on Twitter a couple years ago.
I haven't checked. He probably blocked.
I still listen to him. I said something to him and he got all pissy. And it's funny, he blocked me and Tony, who is my buddy Tony, who's on, he's on the show too. He's, and he blocked Tony on Twitter and then he blocked me like a half hour later. It was freaking hilarious. It's Tony's like, look, Cornette blocked me. I'm like, what'd you say to him? I'm like, hang on, I'll go comment on that thread and see if he blocks me too. Yep, he did. I was like, Black Brothers.
I'm not blocked. I can still follow all the wisdom.
He's very sensitive. I still listen to him though, like every day. Like I'll be walking around the house, like in between recording and shit, and I'm listening to him usually, his long form like podcast excerpts and stuff like that, because I agree with a lot of his takes on wrestling, but it's when he steps outside of wrestling and starts talking politics, it's like you lost me, Jim. You lost me there, bud. Not because I disagree with you, but just because you're so wrong.
Yeah, I think that's why I stopped following him. I was a big Jim Cornette fan, and I was like, oh, what's he saying about politics? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, right. It was like Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. I used to follow because I'm a huge, like, Seinfeld is like my favorite show. And I followed him on Twitter when I first got on Twitter, and I was like, oh God, nope. Okay. Can't follow George on Twitter. Where I need a George Costanza parody account stat.
I was in the pool.
There was shrinkage. I get to see her naked. Who is that really punishing, George? George called for reparations. He said there should be reparations.
Fucking love Seinfeld.
I know. That shows it's classic. I wrote like psychology papers about George Costanza in like my psych classes about his narcissistic and avoidant personality disorders and how they worked concurrently in the Strike episode, aka the Festivus.
Did they fail you?
No,
sir.
Jam Del Santos, why does Jim Cornette hate AEW? Because it's everything that's wrong with wrestling.
He doesn't like, he agrees with me about the Orange Cassidy thing. I think I've heard him say stuff about this guy before. I think
he hates Kenny Omega too. I think.
Yeah, he hates Kenny Omega. He hates the Young Bucks because their politics, which he's so much has said, but he doesn't like them because all their fucking flippy do shit.
Yeah, he calls them spot monkeys.
Yep, cosplay wrestlers.
Bring back Bill Watts. He'll straighten everybody out.
He's us. He's us from the 80s and 90s. He doesn't like the way it's become, where everybody's diving through the fucking middle rope every 5 minutes. And
yep.
And I have to agree with him.
I do too. He's not wrong. I mean, all jokes aside and everything, if you really look at it, like I said, from a psychology and storytelling perspective, then you can't do those kind of high spots 10, 15, 20 times a night, because you need to build to the main event. You can't have guys on the opening match, doing, hurricane ranas and not hurricane ranas, but planchas and swantons and guys are no selling. It's a 2 count on something that somebody else's finisher up the card. So what the hell do they have to do? Run the guy over with the truck to finish him?
Well, there was a point.
You Super J's right. The Omega versus the 9-year-old girl match is the one that makes Cornette metal. That makes me metal too.
Did he not wrestle a fucking blow up doll as well at one point?
Yeah.
There was a point during that, what you were talking about before, Etep, there was a point during that main event on AEW where Jungle Jack there, he jumped through the middle rope maybe 4 times in a row. He jumped through one, got back in the ring, jumped through again, and then came back in, jumped through it again, and came back in, jumped through again. And then he jumped over the top rope, and the guy was fucking gassed when he got back in the ring after the 5th time of doing it. And the crowd are going wild for it. Yeah, this is great. No, it's not great because it looks fake at this point because the guy's got nothing left in the tank when he's doing it, and you can clearly see the guys are just waiting on him doing it. That's the stuff that
but the
pisses him
crowd
off.
going wild is what like confuses me because I'm like, am I just old now? Is that what it is? I'm just old. I just don't understand what wrestling has evolved to.
Yeah.
Am I wrong or is it the kids?
I'm the same, but I'm the same as you.
I'm the grumpy old man too when it comes to this shit. I really am. Like I to a point I still believe the business should be protected, but that's because I was trained by guys that were old school, and I grew up a fan of that older style, and it's something that I love, and I was blessed enough to take part in for almost a full decade, and to see like I said, that's what my problem with Orange Cassidy is. Yes, he can actually wrestle, but they shouldn't be putting him over on guys that are 3 times his size, and wrestling with his hands in his pockets is a slap in the face to the goddamn business. That is a problem.
That's Cornette's big thing. He doesn't like kayfabe being broken. He never liked when he was running his promotion. He didn't like heels and faces traveling together.
Yep,
because he wanted to maintain kayfabe, and he's right. That's the back
Absolutely.
then. There wasn't any certainty over whether it was a work or not. But even now,
no, but that was
because the kids
like the
don't know any
90s. That was
different.
like 97 when he was doing Smoky Mountain. He was still doing that shit.
Yeah, but he would still do it now if he was running it.
Well, they should. I mean, it's so weird. Like when you watch a TV show, like, oh yeah, the guys that hate each other on this TV show, they're fucking traveling together up and down the road. You're like, you know, I want to, believe even for a moment that these guys actually hate each other. They're actually competing. They're actually fighting in a real match. Even though everything tells me that this is fake and I know I'm watching TV, right? Just for that little moment. That's what kayfabe does.
Yep. That's it. That's good. That's good storytelling. That's 2 guys who know how to do the dance, because that's exactly what this is. My son, he's 7.5. He asked me, because he was not really into wrestling at all. And I showed him one of my matches the other day. Now he's all interested in it finally. And it was kind of cool. That's what kind of like drives me to want to get that one more out and go work so he can see me work one time, but
so he can take over for you. You can be the son of Etep Jr.
Yep. He's half the way there. The he's built like a truck. So
you'll be Taz to his fucking Hook.
Yeah. Hey, look here, my kid over here. Look, he doesn't have a haircut like Flock of Seagulls. Where's Michael Cole at? Hey, say vintage Taz, Michael Cole.
You should give him the other half of that tag team championship you hold as well, so that you like freebird it to your son.
I'll wait until my old tag partner ODs, and then I'll take the belt. Yeah, and I'll give him to my kid. I'll be like, here, these are yours. You got the juice now, son. You got the juice.
But yeah, the storytelling in wrestling now it's just not there, right? Like someone who's super fans saying, like more people are on their phone, they're not really paying attention. And I try to explain this to people, like they're like, well, it's not real, right? It's not. I'm like, yeah, well, I know fucking the Avengers movie's not real, right? But people still clap when there's a big moment, right? People are still like, oh, what's gonna happen? You're still invested in the fucking story, in the drama.
You don't want to see a guy in a fucking green suit standing at the side of the screen.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, could you imagine if Thor just walked up to one of the guys and just tapped him with the hammer, and the guy just like flopped over? You're like, I just paid fucking $20 to see that on screen. But Orange Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets, right? That's okay.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's disrespecting the business, man. It's
disrespecting the business, disrespecting the fans, disrespecting your coworkers. I'd trip his ass. He ain't gonna catch himself.
That's it. Somebody needs to just potato the shit out of him. Like, can you imagine him in Wrestler's Court with like Undertaker and like the Bone Street crew back in the day? Like, if he stepped out of line, they just smack the shit out of him. Like, half
Brock
these
come out and
guys.
fuck him up.
Oh God, Brock
and
just
then-
comes in one
and then
night
just
only,
pick up-
shoots on him.
Yeah, and then just pick up that fucking belt and rip it in half. That international championship, or whatever the fuck it's called, rip it in 2 pieces, just throw it down. I'm not interested in that. I just wanted to break you.
But we say that now, but in this modern era, if they fucking yelled at him, if they're like, "Hey, you can't do that," like, "Oh, what? Twitter? I just got yelled at backstage. You're being mean to me at the wrestling show."
Right.
And fucking cancel AEW. Tony Khan's been canceled for yelling at Orange Cassidy.
I
took my belt off.
Power bomb the shit. I had a power bomb. Orange Cassidy's only like he's legit like what, like 160, 170 pounds. Like I said, my last round I was like 240. I hit guys like bigger than him with the fall away because I used the fall away slam, and then the outsider's edge was my finisher, but I called it the market crash because my work name was Pete Daddy Dollar. So I mean, my tag team partner was James Dillinger, and our stables called Team Ratings, which we were basically the NWO, but our tag team was called the 1%.
That sounds like something that Vince would have done back in the day.
We sold hella merch too. It was fucking great. We were basically like, seriously, like when I say the NWO, like we had the black like my shirt I was wearing, like it said Team Ratings in it. It was just the letter box, and we were heels. They were throwing paper. We got the ring filled up with paper on us one night. We got called motherfuckers, and we were in a building where we couldn't even bleed, so the fans weren't supposed to be swearing at us. But we did a heel turn with this babyface kid, and they just went ape shit on us. We went backstage, and literally the boys were clapping, going like, "Holy shit!" Like you guys have like nuclear heat. And from then on out, we were either main event on one or both of the tapings, and then whatever the main event was, if one of our stable wasn't in it, we were coming in and doing interference or running and just beating the shit. Like I had this brand new Yukon. We did a promo where there's like 4 of us in there. We jump out of my Yukon and just beat the shit out of these 2 luchadors outside the building. And we come in I told the commentator, I'm like, I want you to say, "Oh my God, did Pete Daddy Dollar just commit a hate crime when I hit Uncle Hector with my baseball bat?" Because I carried a bat to the ring with me. And we jump out of my Yukon and we're like, "What's up, Hector?" And all of a sudden we're slamming him against the walls as the building was brick. So it sounded great when we literally the dude was only like 170 pounds. So like we're just picking him up and just lawn darting him. And we took him in, and then my partner James is working a match with him. So like we did the beat down from like my truck is parked right outside, like running during the whole opening to the show. We're there for like 10 minutes just beating the piss out of this guy. It was so, I think that was my first night there. No. That was like that was the 3rd show. That was my 3rd show there, because I didn't even work a match for like 4 or 5 months. They brought me in initially to be like a manager, and then they were like, "You need to be wrestling." So that's when I was like, "All right, we'll just finish training and I'll start working." And within like 4 months, I was working singles matches.
Hell yeah. That's kind of shit they need to be doing in wrestling now. If you can get an arena to hate you that much, fill up the ring with fucking paper, you're doing something right. It
was fun, man.
That's what I'm saying. We need Vince back from like fucking 30 years ago. I'm telling you, Dexter Lumis, 30 years ago, Dexter Lumis would have been carrying a tiki torch to the ring and fucking calling himself a proud boy. It'd be Proud Boy Dexter Lumis to the ring. And they were like, hell yeah. But now they don't do shit. Now it's just like, here comes guy in black trunks. He's fighting guy in blue trunks.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, running from guy in yellow trunks. What's going to happen?
There we go. I'll put that seems like inappropriate. You're talking about Vince.
Yeah. Now
if there's a GIF you can if there's a GIF you can hear, it's this one. Vince is like, hey, Booker, I can see this backstage. Hey, Booker, remember when you called Hulk Hogan the N-word on TV? I'm going to say it to John Cena in front of you and your wife, pal. It'll be great. Ha! See you out there. And Booker T was like, Vince, I don't like that. Vince is
Sucker.
like, who sucker? I don't like it. Vince is like, who signs your checks, pal? It's all right. I'm not saying it to you or Charmel. I'm saying it to John Cena. He's
It's how he
basically
thought
black. He's like
it was-
Eminem.
It's the way he thought it was okay, like a good idea to have both Booker T and his wife stood there at the same time, rather than just Booker on his own.
Yeah.
This'll be good shit.
Hey, I'm going to throw a racial epithet out there. Could you have your wife present?
Oh yeah. You probably paid him extra for that.
Right? Charmel, do it. He's going to give us an extra 30 grand.
He was trying to get Stevie Ray. I'll go get Stevie Ray. We'll put him in there.
Yeah, I can see it.
We'll bring Stevie back one night.
Stevie
over.
Ray
It'll be
just
great,
no sell it.
pal.
Like, he'll no-
Suckers
sell it
gots
like
to
he did
know.
before.
Suckers gots to know. All these damn yaks out here. He's underrated on commentary. I don't care what anybody says. When he was out there saying his silly shit, I was invested.
It was Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he
didn't
was
hear him on
funny.
commentary.
It was like
He
right
wasn't
at
as
the
bad
end of
as
WC.
Mark Madden.
Fuck Mark Madden. He's the one who stooged off on Bill Watts to Hank Aaron.
Yeah. Madden was trash. Dude, that was I had one of my shorts was the cat, and he was talking to Vince Russo. He was like, and since you the writer, you can write your ass on there with the announce table and go sit with big fat ass Mark Madden there. And you just hear Mark Madden go, what? And then I think it was Shivani was like, he's talking to you. Oh, the cat was glorious on the mic. Ernest Miller was just a chef's kiss. I would love. There's another one I clipped this segment of him, and he's talking shit to the crowd. And he looks at this guy and he goes, "Why don't you sit your fat ass down?" He goes, "Matter of fact, how'd you get your big ass in here in the first place?" Just like, oh, god damn. Like nobody does that to the crowd. Like, can you imagine if somebody in the Fed came out and just went into business for themselves and cut like Dudley Boy's ECW Heat Wave 98 promo and just went off on the fans? I mean, like started get like it would be more fun in AEW because there's a lot of soy in that crowd, like, which is sad.
Yeah.
It's like, God, like me and Superfan and Draven were talking about like and Tony talking about going to a show. It's like, dude, they're we would get kicked out of there for toxic masculinity, I think. Like, but I was
No,
like,
they
"It's
wouldn't
so
kick you
sorry.
out. They would just ask you really nicely, sir.
Can you
you're-
please?
Can you leave?
You're making people uncomfortable."
That shirt, that hat's a little too red. I'm gonna ask you to take it off. It's a Cardinals hat. No, sir. That shade of red makes people feel uncomfortable. We're gonna ask
This
you
is
to
my
take it off.
red 1998 New York Yankees Fred Durst hat. Get off me. I did it all for the nookie. Just keep rolling, pal. Push on, homie. But I would love one of those cats in AEW to just come out and just a heel, just start destroying the crowd. Just pick one of them out. Just call him a soy boy piece of shit. Just be like, you look like the damn soy jack NPC meme. Just look at you. Just look at you. You can't even grow a beard. The testosterone never fully formed in you. You got how much soy, just start going on. Just it could be like just cheap heat too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, but get vulgar.
It would be
with
good if CM Punk did that. If he came back for that new show, and just fucking shoot on the crowd right away. First segment,
just straight away. And the network like is wanting him. Like, I heard Cornette talking about that. They like the network they're willing to pay like to have him back. So that's a big financial motivator for Khan to do this show and to get Punk back. And this is where the politicking comes in. You can't have Omega and them guys back there blocking this because it's good for the entire company. Like that's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
Or as Michael Scott said, spider face.
Well, you got anything? You didn't watch Raw. Did anybody actually watch NWA?
Mm-mm.
I know that's a thing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just-
somebody mentioned that was going on the internet. No, I haven't watched it. Who is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion at the moment? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
fucking
I remember
hell.
at one point it was Nick Aldis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then before
Holy
him, it
shit.
was some old guy.
Well, at one
Nick
point it was
Aldis.
Adam Pearce.
Oh yeah,
Adam. Was he Adam Pierce? Why is it? Who the hell is the? Why is it?
He's the GM on WWE right now.
yeah.
Okay.
He's the
All right.
official.
Oh,
The only
he's
official.
the corporate.
Oh,
I
the
missed the
current.
days.
Oh, Tyrus is the current champion.
I don't know. Who
Oh
that is.
shit! The guy that was on the guy's on Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Yep. He used to be. He did the Funkasaurus gimmick back in the day.
Yeah.
He had the Funkadactyls and stuff. Yeah. I like him. He's based as hell. I dig that cat. I like him.
Yeah, I know there was some
and
people
he-
complaining because they don't like his politics. So they're
He's just
complaining about him.
based. He's just based, man. That's but then I won't get into all that.
Oh, Brodus Clay, that big
Yeah,
fat guy.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
It
God,
wasn't
right.
Naomi. Was it Naomi and Ember Moon? Weren't they the Funkadactyls? Who's that? Or
I don't know.
That
I
sounds
don't.
about right.
I don't. I think it was because
But it was only over because of the song, because fucking Ernest Miller's Somebody Call My Mama.
yep. Said that.
That's why we got blocked by WWE the one day. We were going over the racist WWE gimmicks and showing their themes and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And then like in the
Yeah.
middle of our stream was like,
Yeah, they pulled the
this
stream.
stream has been blocked. I'm like, oh fuck.
That's what happened to you the other
Oh.
night, Etep. You got pulled as well. We
Yep.
popped
Oh
in
yes,
on you
I
as you-
did.
as you got pulled off the air.
Oh, I was pissed. I was pissed. I'm like, we're showing a damn video that's already on YouTube. But yeah, then I thought it was done. Then they put us back up. But yeah, I
Yeah,
was
that happened to us.
"Damn
We
it,
went up. We
man."
went back up in about 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah, what happens is they take you down until the offending material, quote unquote,
Yep.
is over. But it's fucked up because when you watch the replay,
We
it's
weren't
still
watching
it's
it.
still recording, right? So like whatever you're
Yeah.
saying when it's off air, like you're like fuck this shit is fucking bullshit. Like that's on the replay now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I remember one of the panel mentioning we should just fucking pull the show off the air, not
Yeah.
mention anything. You can hear that in the replay.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like we should just fucking leave. It'd be
Yeah.
fine. It'd make it seem like
Nobody
they
will
fucking
notice.
took us on. Yeah. End the show.
Fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. It's like, I don't know what the fuck we should do here, boys.
Well, it's been 2 hours. I think it's a solid show. We had some fun. We had some laughs. We're all looking forward to all the upcoming wrestling action in the next week.
What we got to watch? What? Right, I'm not watching AEW again. Right, I'm sorry. Tony, you do that for a change, yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch AEW this week.
So I'll watch WWE. I'll make a point of trying to.
There's no pay per view, so you should be good.
Right. I'll try and watch both Raw and SmackDown then.
No one watches NXT. I mean,
No.
Is it
No.
worth giving NWA a look or not? Is that
uh,
no point?
oh my god! It looked like the one time I watched it. I swear it was like they were filming it in a warehouse that they needed to get out before the workers came in. It was terrible, but it definitely had that old school feel to it. So,
And the ring is 6 feet by 6 feet.
yeah.
Oh.
But they're another. They have like a whole bunch of titles too. I think they gotta get this
Yeah,
shit together.
They have a mid card title that is in the shape of North America, right? Or is
Let's
that
see.
not? They don't do that. Have that anymore. I remember that being in the old. I don't know if it was called the North American title. It
No,
was just
it's-
like
it's,
in the shape of a
It's the national championship.
national. It's in the shape of North America, though, right?
Yeah.
Or
No, it's in the
USA?
shape of the U.S.
USA.
because it doesn't
Yeah,
have
look-
Canada. I think
it
it
looks-
might have Mexico on it.
It looks like if you throw that at somebody, you could really fucking hurt them. That title.
Yeah. Currently, EC3 is the champion. He's holding that belt.
EC3 from
shit.
Impact.
Ethan
Yeah.
Ethan
The
Carter.
roided up. Yeah. The roided up guy.
Yep.
Fucking Kerry
Impact
Morton
was
is
good.
a champion. Fuck, he's the world junior.
One of the Morton boys.
Yeah, I wonder if he has to give the dad part of the money for all the bank child support he still owes.
Do you remember PG-13?
Yeah.
Wolfie D, JC Ice, Jamie Dundee, JC Ice. I booked him 3 shows. I worked with him. We hung out the after party. This is before I think his, I don't know, what was it, like 3rd or 4th stint in rehab. He was hilarious. So like I got to be really good friends with the Tennessee crew, and one of the dudes, me and Mikey Woods, we start out, I called him Shrek during a promo, and he chased me and slapped me around because I was like the little heel, you know, and he was a baby face. And that look back, because he was a little bit shorter than me, but he was a bigger guy, so it was all right. But we were hanging out afterwards, and he gave me Jamie's phone number, and we walked over to the store to get more beer, and he's like, call Jamie and talk to him like him. I'm like, all right. So I call him, like, he answers, he's like, hello. I'm like, Jamie Dundee. He goes, who the fuck is this? I was like, Jamie Dundee, goddamn it, Jamie Dundee. Call from the store. You want anything? He goes, what the hell you do? Who? He's looking, he goes, I don't even recognize this number. I don't even know why I answered the damn phone. It was fucking, I fucked with him for a good 5 minutes. Till you hear Mikey Woods just giggling in the background. I can hear, wait a minute. Is that Mikey Woods? He goes, you put that cocksucker on the phone right now. You put him on the phone right now, goddammit. Mikey Woods, who you got? Who is it? Who is it? That bald-headed idiot with you? And it's like, I made it. Jamie Dundee called me a bald-headed idiot.
You made it.
I prank called him. I would call him and leave him voicemails. He was drunk all the time. I just call him, leave him voicemails. I'm like, Jamie, turn the toaster off. And just hang up. That was it. That was all I'd say. Just stupid shit.
Superfan says the new Wokuvian order has an official title. See it at Horror Hound in Indy, August 2023.
Yep.
We
roll deep. We all wore that. We all wear the new Wokuvian order merch. We got the shirts for sale and everything. But yeah, we were all wearing it. Horror Hound in Cincinnati. We went to the bar afterwards, like 8 deep, all in the black and white. It was fun. Everyone's like walking around, like just random people, just kind of too sweeting us. Draven was there, Adam, Justin Proper, good stuff. My editor. It was fun, man. We had a good time down there.
Sounds good. All your guys are in the same area. All my guys are like fucking all over the place. We had a guy in Canada, a guy in fucking UK. So us all hanging out and doing anything is fucking damn near impossible.
Plus, we would never recognize Tony.
Yeah.
Unless he was wearing a frog mask.
Just look for the guy, the 6-foot frog. It's not that hard.
6-foot king frog.
Yeah. I wear my crown just like Jerry Lawler. Take it everywhere I go. With that said, you got anything you want to plug, Etep, before we take off?
Yeah, you can check out my morning show tomorrow at 9:35 Eastern for about, I say a half hour, and today I went an hour and a half, but people were watching, so I was like, hey, I got spare time. So yeah, at 9:35, check out the morning show tomorrow, and Holy Shit News is tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern. Guest is TBA, and the morning show on Thursday and Friday. And I've got a Monster Squad review I am working on now, too, for a freaking amazing movie from 1987.
I was just about to say, I love that movie.
It's fantastic. I just introduced my wife and son had never seen it, so we watched that last weekend. They absolutely loved it. So
I'll have to rewatch it. I hear a lot of love for it, but I don't remember it being that good. I'll have to rewatch it.
Oh, it's great. Fantastic.
It is.
When I showed it to Sidekick Max, he loved it.
It's good stuff, man. It is. It's a fun movie. Oh yeah, and I got one of my Russian skits coming out. My Russian cousin Yuri Grabovich from Communist United News Transmission Service will be interviewing Image the Fantabulous, who is an American gay man We'll be having an interview and talking about Ryan Barr, Indiana, Delaware County councilman who came out as a transgender, transracial woman of color, Native American to be specific. So yeah, we've got that. We're editing that all together too. So that's my Russian comrade, my cousin Yuri.
Also, he steals a bunch of memes from Reddit and posts it on his community page. So
Absolutely.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
check out Etep. He's a great guy, very funny. It's a little crazy, but that'll happen when you get dropped on your head night after night for a couple months, right? So
Oh yeah. Yep. And then there's
As long as,
wrestling.
as long as he doesn't take his family out with him, so it matters.
all right, you know how we do it on this channel. Love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.